The Best You is leading the way in the industry of personal and professional growth. Through our magazine, expos, e-learning, TV, club, and awards, The Best You's objective is to help people achieve their dreams, to do more, to be more, to live a life without limits. Join us if you believe in helping and inspiring others, in changing the world, in making it a more just and fair place through education and inspiration. Our goal: everyone, everywhere, now. If you are interested in making a difference, working, partnering, volunteering, supporting, or even licensing The Best You, let's talk. Let's work together and make the world a better place.
What is life? Your life isn't just about what you're doing now. Your life is the sum of every hope you ever had and everything you ever wanted to be. Life is about the situations you deal with, how you get to where you want to be, and how you become who you want to be. Life is a collection of moments and memories. Life is about being alive, feeling alive. Life is about dealing with whatever fate throws at you. Life is about staying on top when things are challenging. Life is about enjoying yourself, about finding yourself, about leaving a legacy. Life is about looking and feeling good, about staying ahead. It's about being the best you. What you want, what we all want, is a life without limits. So why don't you be the best you?
Hi, I'm Bernardo Moya. I'm the founder of The Best You and author of The Questions. And unfortunately, my father passed away at the age of 54. From an early age, I realized that I had to take responsibilities that I probably wasn't prepared for. It was a big crash. I didn't really understand the consequences of me not having a father, and I spent my life really looking for the father figure. If I fast forward a few years, I then got into real estate, and at the age of 26, when I already had my son, the first real estate came. I remember I had lots of people knocking on my door, all sorts of people coming round, looking for money, because I literally had to close my company down. And all the savings I had in this big box of chocolates, and we had these 100 peseta coins, which is the equivalent to a pound. When I took the last coin out, which the penny dropped, as they say, that was it. I bought my son a tin of lentils from the supermarket, and that was it. That was all the money I had. So I started in timeshare, and I was very lucky because I literally turned things around. Within a couple of weeks, I was making £1,000 a week. So I then went to my second entrepreneurship. I went to the second time to rebuild my real estate business, and I did. And I was refurbishing properties, redecorating properties, building them. I built this up, but then again, another real estate bubble. And this one caught me in a really bad way because I had tasted wealth. Okay, I thought I was rich. Luckily, I was already on a journey of self-discovery. I was already very interested in personal, professional growth. I've been reading books for many, many years. Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, you name it. But it was NLP that really put me on the map. NLP that really positioned me to start understanding about my thinking, about becoming aware of my thoughts and really focusing. So when this real estate crash was coming, and it was coming bad, I dealt with it in a way that I didn't deal with it before. And that's where I started commuting from Spain to London for 3 years, and I started a completely different career in personal and professional growth. Did I have any idea about running personal development events? No idea at all. I was very passionate about it. I loved it, but I was good at sales and marketing. I could speak languages. I remember speaking to my wife and I said that I want to do this. And she said to me, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Well, yeah, because if not me, then who? And if not now, then when?" And that was it. I went for it. So I went to London with an open mind in looking at how I could potentially become the best version of myself, but also how I could help people. And I did that for 10 years with NLP Life Training, working with Dr. Richard Bandler, Paul McKenna, and some many great people. And it's been beautiful to see how through these trainings, we've trained over 25,000 people, how we've managed to help and enhance people's lives. But 5 years ago, I had my own questions. I wanted to come up with my own brand. And that's where I came up with the idea of the best you. Now, I share this normally. I could have called it the average you, the crap you, but the idea is that wouldn't work. And it doesn't work because everyone wants to become the best version of themselves. Of course they do. So I wanted to create a platform where all these great thinkers, authors, leaders could share their ideas in a place where, you could connect, you could go and find them. If I wanted, and I wanted to summarize kind of my journey and all this that I've shared with you now, I've shared it in my book, The Question. Because with all my NLP training, with all the people that I've interviewed, all the people that I've worked, all the people that I've been connected to, I've really identified that it is down to thinking. And it's simple. But the fact is, it really shocks me and scares me that so many people don't think about what they're thinking about. So my book, The Question, really talks about that, about us becoming aware of our thoughts, about asking ourselves empowering questions. Because I believe that if you do that, if you do ask yourself empowering questions, you unconsciously and consciously, you're going to start finding these beautiful solutions. You're going to start asking yourself these questions that need an answer. Because people go through life without asking themselves these empowering questions. That's what I've learned, and that's what I share in my book, and that's what I do with the platform. So I would love to help you. I'd love to explore how either through the platforms that we have, how you might be able to find inspiration with some of the people that I've interviewed or some of the stories that I've shared. I'd also love to work with you. There might be an opportunity for you to be able to speak at the Best You Expo. Hey, Bernardo here. How are you? I hope you're well. I am excited to be here at day 2 at the Best You Expo Global Summit. It's been absolutely amazing. It's just been a beautiful day. And listen, I just can't wait for us to share all the amazing speakers that we have lined up for you today. Just bear with me. Hey, Bill, how you doing? I'm so sorry, man. I'm live. I just had to stop the phone. How are you?
The Best You TV. The Best You TV, a TV channel with only the best business leaders and influencers ready to help you rise to the top. Available now on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play. Are you in the personal development world trying to reach a larger audience? Are you a motivational speaker, an author, therapist, coach, or business guru tired of pushing out content with little results? Gain more clients and expand your business today.
Apologies, we had a technical issue there trying to get Bill, my first guest, to join. And sorry, I was the one that had to answer the phone. So these are the things that happen when you're live. Anyway, hope you're well. Very excited to have you here. Day 2, Best You Expo Global Summit. Yesterday was an amazing day. And I said this yesterday, that the people that I'm bringing in this summit are people that I work with, people that I endorse, people that I collaborate with, people that I believe are the best in the industry. So it's just a very small array of speakers throughout the 3 days, considering the type of events that we've done over the years. But it really is important, I think, for a lot of the speakers, coaches, authors, trainers, entrepreneurs that are out there to be able to work with the best people in the industry. Now, there's a lot of people out there, I know, and sometimes it can be very confusing. But for me, it was really important to bring you people that, as I said, I work with, but also can really provide you skills that you can implement very, very quickly. I mean, every single speaker here is sharing phenomenal quality and phenomenal tips that you can implement instantly, and they can create results for you also instantly. I mean, Greg Reiter yesterday was talking about some great tips and ideas around Facebook, about having your profile in there, about obviously having multiple links within your Instagram so people can see all your different social media accounts. And then we had Jeff Barnes talking about LinkedIn and how you can generate business and leads, free leads from LinkedIn. And then yesterday, Ken Rochon was talking about publishing a book and getting the book out and how easy it is, and how difficult we make it. And Ken's helped so many people publish their book because it's a phenomenal calling card. So we've got 2 more days today, and I'm obviously very excited to be announcing today. Well, literally within a couple of minutes, I'm going to ask Bill Walsh to join me. He's going to be talking about how to make bank as a public speaker. Bill's a great friend. He's someone that's been doing this for a long time. And the reason is, I say this a lot of times, is because he's the best. He's one of the best in the industry. And it's very difficult to find leaders in the industry and successful companies that haven't worked with him. I'm going to be talking at 3 p.m. I'm going to be talking about do's and don'ts of partnerships. But I'm also going to be talking about some of the really exciting things that we're planning behind the scenes. There's a revolution going on behind the Best You, and we're very excited about all the announcements. And I'm going to be talking about that later. And then at 4 p.m., I've got Craig Hanley and Karen Camus. Now, they're going to be talking about how to use social media to scale, grow, engage, and sell. Tomorrow's an amazing day as well. We've got Jessica Abel at 2 p.m. She's a media guru. She's going to be talking about how you can become from unknown to newsworthy, how to get press and master the media. David Snyder, a master NLP trainer. He's going to give you some really great skills of how you can sell anything to anyone, anytime, anywhere. And then we've got Jen Duplessis, entrepreneurial leadership, letting go to grow. Now, you're watching this live. Please make sure you've got the links. If you share it and you invite your friends to come along, well, look, we're giving free VIP tickets to the expos. We're giving the recordings of the summit. We're giving recordings of the Best You Online. But every single speaker is giving not only valuable tips, but they're also giving you some phenomenal incentives for you to stay right till the end, just by simply being here. A lot of you are watching this on all different kinds of platforms. Facebook, in the Best You, on the Facebook and NLP Live Training, in our group. You're watching it in YouTube and NLP Live Training, in the Best You as well, and obviously also in Zoom. So please, wherever you are, wherever you're watching this, engage with us, ask questions, give us thumbs up, share whatever it is that you're experiencing. Any questions that you have, we're going to ask them at the end. But please put those comments in the box and we'll be sharing them here with you, because we want to feel the interaction and the love. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in Bill. But what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to read a quick bio. Bill is a venture capitalist and a CEO, founder of the Success Education, Business Coaching and Speaker Training from Power Team International. Bill hosts and speaks at events all over the world. His passion is to empower entrepreneurs and business owners to create massive success. He is the best-selling author of the book, The Obvious. He's an amazing speaker, and that's a really big understatement. He's a radio personality, a movie celebrity, and he's been ranked for the last 7 years in a row by Guru magazine as one of the top 30 business coaches in the world. He has been honored to lecture at Harvard University and has been speaking to small and large groups from around the globe for the last 2 decades. He's also been working with startups and major global brands to help them increase sales, productivity, and overall success. He's an innovator with a remarkable ability to help entrepreneurs create even more success. He loves to teach how to build success plans to help entrepreneurs and business owners, and how to seize immediate market opportunities, because there's always an opportunity. Bill.
Buddy, how are you, man? It's good to see you.
Very good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
I love it. So where in the world are you today?
Well, I'm in Argentina. I'm in
nice.
Buenos Aires. Yes.
Well, that's not a bad office. I got to tell you that much.
It's not a bad office at all. Food is great. People are lovely. The weather's good. So yeah, I'm having fun and enjoying it here. What about you? Where
any event that you have, I'm always glad to be a part of and give some insight and some wisdom. And for anyone that's listening today, if you get a chance to be a part of any of the expos, any of the Best You Expo events that's going on, get yourself plugged in. You know, Bernardo's always he's always outside his comfort zone. He's always doing the extra work, the extra mile. And I'll tell you this, that we've been working together now for nearly a decade on different events. And if he's got something going on, get yourself plugged in. Don't miss it. Whether you're going to be an attendee or a sponsor, or you're going to throw a party with it or go VIP, whatever it is, just show up. You're going to find that most people that have the most success, they seem to show up consistently.
Yes, and that's the case here today, Bill. Those that show up will obviously take advantage of all the amazing tips you're going to give. Bill, I want to thank you so much. I've always said this many times. You're a true friend. You're a really down to earth kind of guy. But everyone that's worked with you, everyone that's had the opportunity to do anything with you, just speak so highly. And I'm very grateful that you're here again today to support us.
Yeah, well, anytime I can help support your vision, I'm in. And just so you guys that are listening, obviously, if you're on board today, over the next 30 to 40 minutes, we'll give you guys some really great tips on monetizing your passion, monetizing your voice. Take a lot of notes, how to build great lists, how to launch your own digital products. We'll invite maybe 10 of you guys listening today to join us either in Vegas or Chicago or Orlando or Dallas to spend a day with me and just work on your public speaking. So for those that really have a passion for this stuff, we do run 300 live events a year. We get in front of, probably more than 100,000 folks a year. So no doubt lots of opportunities for those that are serious about it. And we'll kind of dive into all that stuff over the next 30 to 40 minutes. I don't know if we'll have much time for questions, but we'll give you guys a lot of good insights. So we'll give you a link towards the end that you can get some free gifts and get some more information and kind of go from there.
Brilliant. Okay, Bill, floor's yours. Thank you so much.
Sounds good. Thanks, buddy. Let me see if I can get this PowerPoint to work here. I don't really know how all this thing works, but I'll give it a shot. Let's see, new layout. Yeah, let's see. Boy, they got some really fancy stuff on here. We'll see if we can add a new layout in here. Oh, that didn't work so good.
Just put it on present. Just put
Cancel
it on present.
That one.
Put it on present.
Which one do you present down there? Present?
Yeah.
Okay, I see it. So present slides. Let's try that one. Yes. I don't know. Let's see. My computer. Upload the file. We'll give this a shot too. Actually, guys, this probably gets too much confusing. I'll just have a chat with you guys. So if you get a pad of paper and a pen, I'll give you guys some really incredible notes on launch, grow, build a better speaker business. But I will tell you this, that my background's simple. Out of high school and college, became a trader. I did 10 years of M&A work where we'd either fix companies, take them public, or close them. I got burnt out. I'm sure plenty that are listening have been burnt out as well. I took a couple-year vacation. I teamed up with a young company called GoDaddy as a marketing partner, a company called Franklin Covey as a channel partner. We launched a little product called Successfolio. It was like a business in a box. We gave you websites, merchant accounts, business plan, and said, go get them. And by 2005, we launched an incubator course called Rainmaker. It's our intense 4-day course 4 times a year. We license, sell it all over the world. Venture fund in 2007, masterminds, think tanks, expos, speaker programs, book writing programs, opening a new incubator center this year in Las Vegas, new TV show. We launched a new TV network called GBN, and the Rainmaker show, which we've had now for nearly a decade on radio, has now gone to mainstream television as well. And I only share this with you so you understand that anybody that's ever had some success, they've also had failures. I've been broke and I've been wealthy. I promise you that broke sucks, but you'll always find your real friends. When times are tough and when people don't have to answer your calls, but they do take your calls, and those are really your good friends when things aren't so good. Easy to find friends, when things are great, but how many are there when things aren't so great? And I've always prided myself that no matter what's going on, I'll take people's calls, and if I can help, I'll try to help. And that's part of really understanding business as well, that it's a journey, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. So stay the course. And one of the things I'm most excited about is I've been able to train speakers from all over the world. From every continent of the world, I've actually trained speakers to help them launch, grow, and build bigger companies through their public speaking. And I will tell you this, there's a guy's name you should write down. His name is Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett probably had one of the most powerful frames around public speaking. He said it's the number one skill set for all entrepreneurs is public speaking. If you go to his office in Nebraska, there's only one plaque on the wall. It's from his 1951 course from Dale Carnegie on public speaking. So how you show up and how you present yourself to one or to many is everything today. And it's not just getting in front of large groups or speaking at stadiums or, doing these big talks in front of hundreds of people. Sometimes it's that one talk with 5 people, 10 people, 20 people. And especially when you're speaking to your peers, that people get really nervous. And so here's some things I'll help you with to really own the public speaker space, have more fun, make more money, and of course, get paid a whole lot more dollars doing it. So one of the most important things as a speaker, and I want you to write this down, is be an expert. Be really great in your lane. Whatever your lane is, pick that lane, be great in your lane. I find so often that people that want to go speak about things they don't know, they almost always screw it up. So I will tell you today, and I'm going to get a little notepad and give you guys some notes, but one of the things I found to be one of the most important things before you ever take a stage, and definitely write this down and circle it, is know your content. I'm not saying know your talk. I'm not saying try to record your talk. I'm not saying try to make all these sentences for your talk, but know your industry. If you ask me to speak about how to make a cake or how to make this souffle or how to make this fancy meal, I'd be like, let me just push a video for you because I don't know how to do that. I'm not a fitness coach. I'm not a life coach. I'm not a health coach, but I'm a damn good business coach. So pick your lane, number one, that you decide to be great in, and do everything you can to be great in that lane, and do your homework, and never, ever, ever stop being a student. But in the lane that you're in, before you take that stage, you know your content. You know your content without notes. You know your content without PowerPoints. If you have to have all those things, then you don't know your stuff yet. And if it's a placeholder, that's fine, but don't put these long sentences up there that if people can read your PowerPoint, they don't need you. It's really very, very important as you start to look at this stuff. So if I was just kind of break out something for you guys and kind of give you something to look at, is that in quadrant one is be the expert. Whatever it is you're going to do, be the expert. Before you take the stage, know the information you're going to speak about. And this is also very important, is that if you're less than 5 years, write this down. You're an innovator. If you're more than 5 years, you're an expert. Get yourself positioned to win. So get yourself an influencer site, not a web page and not a corporate site, but an influencer site. There's something like Mingle, MINGL.no. Mingle.no is a good one. That you can build a simple page, has your QR code, has your image on there, has links to your social media, has links to your PDFs, has downloads for your clients, even has links to a calendar. If you don't have a calendar, use something like Calendly or youcanbook.me. It's a free service where now people can find you, book you before they ever go get this long website with all kinds of stuff. Let them get to know you first. You'll get way more bookings if people get to know you before they get to know your brand and your story and your company and all your products and services and all your coaching programs and all your masterminds. Let them get to know you first. Another app that's free is called Hi Hello. It's a great little app. Hi Hello. It gives you a personal page and a business page. It connects your Discord. It connects your Twitter. It connects all your social media channels. And it's all free. Once again, utilize tools when you're starting out, even if you're wildly successful, to be more frugal. Next thing, go to something like Canva. Get a book cover done. I don't care if your book comes out for 2 years. All these people tell you got to buy all these books and spend tens of thousands of dollars. I'm telling you, the book cover will open the doors. Get a book cover done on Canva. Go to Facebook, set up a community page for your area of expertise. Begin to feed the community with content. Begin to invite 20 people a day. Just write this down. Invite 20 people per day to your community. If they don't come to your community, there's your so-called friends on social media, then take them off your friend list because they're not your real friends. If they're not going to support you or support your community, write this down. Go find some new friends. Go find some people that will, that support your vision, because those same people that won't support your wins are the first ones to clap when you fail. They're excited to see you fail. The crazy part about it is that when you have success, say nothing. When you're flying on private jets and you're living an extraordinary life and they say, how come I don't see you at the club? You say, how come I don't see you at the bank? And never apologize for your success, but be frugal along the way and get the best tools in place. So a book cover's done, get your community set up. Once you've done that, launch a podcast. Download an app called Anchor. It's owned by a company called Spotify. It's free, costs nothing. Go to GoDaddy, pay the $10, point it right over to your new global podcast. And I know that people are going to sell you these podcasting services. You can do this for free too. Once the podcast is up, you interview experts just twice a month. Not my fingers that have gone out, Brad, but 2 people a month, 20 minutes each. Pure content, feed the community with the content. Only interview best in class. Have someone else call them. If I was calling Bernardo, I'd have someone else call them. Bernardo, I'm calling on behalf of Bill Walsh. He's launching a new global podcast. He'd love to have you on the podcast to talk about your products, your services, your new book that's coming out. Bernardo says to my staff, well, how big is Bill's podcast? I don't know, Bernardo, but I can tell you this, it's global. They've teamed up with Spotify. It's going all over the world. Would you like to be a guest on the show? Yes or no? And the show is all about your guests, not about you. Does that make sense? Stop putting podcasts out there talking about your own name, getting on your soapbox. You don't deserve a soapbox yet. You haven't built that following. Joe Rogan was paid over $100 million. What does he do? He interviews great people, teach people how to laugh. But at the end of the day, that podcast will open up doors for you you could never open on your own. And don't you make the call, because if you make the call, you're not that cool. But if someone else makes the call, man, you seem really cool. But once the podcast is up and you got these things in place and you want to step outside your comfort zone as a speaker, you got to write this down. I am a speaker that belongs on global stages. You write that down today. I am a speaker with a story that belongs on global stages. And never let anybody put you down. Never let anybody tell you your story's not good enough, your story's not right, you didn't tell it perfect. Hey, listen, everybody that's here today, we're all a work in progress. Just write this down. I am a work in progress, because we all are. But as soon as you got this down, there's a service called Help a Reporter Out. Get yourself on Help a Reporter Out today. It's a free service, but it gets you in the news. I was on Fox 7 times this morning. 7 radio interviews between 4 a.m. Pacific, which I didn't really enjoy the 4 a.m. Pacific, and by 7 o'clock Pacific. Because once again, when you begin to put yourself out to the different groups like Haro, they're going to find you for your area of expertise. And of course, you notate all those. And you always say, can I give away a free book? Can I give away a free consult? Because every time you're a speaker, please write this down, you're in the list building business. I've coached the biggest speakers in the world, the biggest names in the world. Les Brown, Brian Tracy, John Gray, John Astroff, Mark Victor Hansen. And I always ask Sharon Lecter, how's your list doing? And because they're getting paid to speak, they're afraid to give it to build a list. But if you're getting paid to speak or you're speaking to sell, I don't care if they let you give away a free book or a free report or a copy of your PowerPoint. Let them give away a copy of your PowerPoint to all the listeners as long as they opt in for the gift. You know, you can always say, follow me on social media, follow me on Instagram, but it's not the same as push marketing to a text opt-in that makes it easier for them to get great content. And once again, if you're going to give good content, give good resources. Give things they can use right now, not next year. So go to Google, type in Help a Reporter Out. You'll get all the information right there. It's free to join the service. You see, now you're starting to get ready for media. And when you get on media, there's a service called Pingler, Pingler. Use Pingler to get more people to know about your stuff. It helps with all your SEO ranking. It costs you $3 a month. You see, as a speaker, you've got to set the intention. And the intention has to be that you're there to serve millions of people. You're not there to serve 1 or 2. You're there to serve millions of people with your story, your message, and your area of expertise. And believe me when I tell you that what you put out to the universe, it's going to come back. I wrote a best-selling book called The Obvious. I'll give it away today. All you have to do is text the word win. You text the word win to 26786. Text the word win right now to 26786. You get a free copy of my book. You get our newsletter. You get access to some of our free events throughout the year. The service for Haro is called Help a Reporter Out. If you go to Google, type in Haro, H-A-R-O, or type in Help a Reporter Out. You'll get both of them right there. And I know that I've got a lot of content, but I'm going to give you guys a lot of stuff over the next 20 minutes. I'll turn it back to our host. He'll give you more great stuff. I can't slow down. Listen, I don't speak fast. You just got to think faster. Is that okay? This will be recorded. You can get some of the information later. Don't worry about it. But once you've got the expert quadrant down, the next quadrant, and this is so important, especially as a speaker, is called the empowered quadrant. And what that really means is that you got to have the best tools and systems. Tools and systems win. They don't win once in a while. Systems win all the time. So these are systems you have to have. Number 1, a good loyalty program. Number 2, and I know people don't think this is important, but you got to have a good referral program. On your website, there should be a referral button. Your clients, if they know you, like you, trust you, they believe in you, they want to share your story. You as a speaker have to make sure people can book you to speak. So get a speaker media kit. Get something that has your rates on there. If you're a local speaker, start at $5,000 to $10,000. If you're speaking international, $25,000 to $45,000. Did you know the average motivational speaker today in corporate America, they're earning $20,000 a talk? Oh, but I don't want to get paid to train. I don't want to pay to learn this stuff. Yes, you do. Because one thing you don't have is time. None of us have any time to waste. So leverage, once again, that people have done this before. I've given more than 5,000 talks to more than 1 million people. There's a few things I've learned over this time that will help you. And I'll tell you this, our speaker program, we charge you under $1,000 for the whole year. And you can bring a guest with you. Now, here's the catch. If we book you on a paid to speak gig, we get 20%. And if you don't want to pay us the 20%, then go do it all by yourself. Because I'm telling you, it's not easy out there. But in the empowered system, make sure there's a referral button. If people like your presentation, let them refer you out. Put it on even a button on your presentation. Put a button inside your PowerPoint. So when you share the PowerPoint, they can also have a referral button. These are little things. Most of them are free, but don't be afraid to use these things. From Toastmaster. Yeah, Toastmaster is always great. I'm sorry, Mary Mag. I don't have a lot of time to slow down, but I got a lot of stuff to cover with you guys, and I hope it's helpful. The third part of the process for systems, you got to have a good sales process, everybody. There's always 3 processes. Number 1, and people don't think about it, important, prospecting. You got to prospect every day. Don't be lazy with your prospecting. You got to present. You got to learn to present every day. And you got to make sure that you're following up. So give yourself a really simple rule. It's called 20, 20, and 20. I know it sounds crazy, but 20, 20, and 20 will make you rich beyond anything you ever thought of. So you, once again, pique the interest of 20, you present to 20, and you follow up with 20 every day, 5 days a week. See, if you're doing that to get more speaking gigs, to get your message on stages, or your team's doing it with you, you're going to be able to speak as much as you want. And when you start to think about a good process, a prospecting process, a customer process, and a retention process, don't leave any of these on the table. But the more you put this into a scientific formula, you're going to find that the most successful entrepreneurs, they have it down to a science. They make it look easy because they live it every day. But make sure your website converts, 3 clicks to buy. Make sure they can find you for your speaker topic, not your name. Make sure they can search for your speaker topic to find you. This way, you're going to get more bookings based on the speaker topic. So on your websites, the title line, the header line, and the images all has to match. If it doesn't match, then you're paying for all these Google ads. Stop paying for the madness. Get to learn how to do this stuff once again, where you can do it organically and get a lot more traffic from it. Now, in addition to those things, I know it sounds crazy. You got to have a good marketing structure, and you got to have a good marketing plan. So if you're doing any kind of online marketing, if you guys use Instagram at all, you can follow me on Instagram at Bill Walsh 360, at Bill Walsh 360. If you send me a message, Bill, follow me back, I'll follow you back. If you don't put the message out there, don't just follow me. And this is the thing people don't do, is that be willing to follow people. And I know a lot of times there's a lot of what I would call, fake stuff that's out there, and you get all these spammers sending you all kinds of stuff. Hey, send me your phone number. It's just, you got to move through this stuff. But make sure that if you use Instagram, use Reels. Post less, more Reels. Do not put links in your post. I know this sounds crazy until you've got 50 comments or likes, no links in your post, no hashtags in your post, even on Facebook. Because if you do, they're going to shut down your post. You could try the exact same post, the exact same photo, the exact same words. Use one on Instagram with the links. Use one on Facebook with no links. And you watch how all of a sudden the traffic to your Facebook, same exact post, gets way more interaction. I've had interactions on Facebook, more than 1,000 likes and comments, all organic because of just good content. Then after you get 50 comments or likes, then you add your links. Then you add your hashtags or put your opt-in codes inside there. They don't pick up opt-in codes as traffic marketing. Does that make sense? So if you're using opt-ins, like I gave you one, text WIN to 26786. That's a marketing code. That gives you a free gift just for opting in. That does not go against your post on social media in terms of actually making you a marketing post, which I'm telling you, Facebook and Instagram, they shut them down. But the minute you've done this, you start to get more traffic to it, right? On IG, use the Reels. On Facebook, use an app called Creator. Once you have the blue check mark on your business page as an author, which is the only way to go for public speaking, don't put yourself down as a public speaker. Put yourself down as an author. You get way more tools on Facebook as an author than you'll ever get as a public speaker or an engineer or something else. And once again, it takes less than 5 minutes to set this stuff up. Get it done today. Don't wait on this stuff. In addition to that, use something called polygonal marketing. Learn to use zip code direct marketing, what's called the TMZ TV show. People have watched this show for years, have no idea what it stands for. It means the 30-mile zone. If you're going to speak in your local marketplace, use the 30-mile zone. Everything around there, but of course, only zip code directs where your customers live at or your prospects live at. And I know this sounds like it's a lot of work, and it is a lot of work, and that's the way it should be, but it's worth it. If you guys use LinkedIn, use Linked Helper. Linked Helper is an excellent tool to go after your perfect marketplace. Then there's an app called InShot, INSHOT, InShot. Easy tool to use, makes it so simple. Once again, get yourself set up on InShot, upload your 1-minute videos. Twice a week, use these 1-minute videos. Use a service called Captions. It's also free. Captions lets you put all the little cool emojis and all the text that's in there. And now, once again, as soon as you've done this, it raises the engagement because it's not just you talking. Video gets 6 times the engagement, and keep them under a minute. You'll get the most exposure from that. One more thing as you're going down this path, critically important, partner with influencers. Find a way to partner with people that already are doing more, living more. Go to some of the multi-speaker events. Go to some of the biggest charity events. Get around some of the right people. Don't go there for the fashion show. Show up an hour early, leave an hour late. Be the first one there, the last one to leave, to connect with the promoters. Figure out ways to add value to the promoters so that when it comes to speaking, you're the first person they call. And this will give you an edge over everyone else that's out there. We teach all this at our Icon Speaker program. You know, doing this stuff for, 30 some years, I've learned a few of these things, and we put together a program you get to come 4 times a year. It's 1 day at a time. You can do it online. You can do it live. Either one doesn't matter. It's all recorded for you. And then, of course, once again, it's all under $1,000. So it's pretty affordable for someone to get plugged in and be a part of the program. We'll give you guys a link in a bit. And for the first 10 that take action online, I'll give you guys some kind of super cool bonus because I love to give away some cool stuff. But I hope you're getting some of this content down. Once you learn how to partner with the influencers by showing up for the right events, the last one is begin to use mobile marketing. Begin to use text message opt-ins. There's a platform called Mobex Pro, MOBEX. MobexPro.com is a great tool you guys can use. Under $100 a month gives you a 500-person Zoom, runs all your back-end automated mobile funnels. You can use click this and click that and all these other tools that are out there, but none of them are as effective as this that comes with a 500-person Zoom account, all for under $100 a month. MobexPro.com is a super hot tool. Definitely something to try out. Now, the flip side of the coin is Teams. And if you're going to be a speaker out there today, make sure it's really important that the first thing you start with is get yourself set up with a VA. Get yourself someone for 10 hours a week for about $7 an hour. They only do 3 things. Number 1, they do research for you. Number 2, they do email for you. Number 3, they do your social media. Those are 3 rabbit holes that will kill your productivity every day. And for $10 or $7 an hour for 10 hours a week, don't start with a 40-hour VA. Start with a 10-hour VA. Make sure you get them packed. You can do all that for $70, $80 a week. But don't discount the marketing or the growth of your business by not thinking you have to invest in it. If you got to get a credit line, go get a credit line. You got to get some credit cards, go get some credit cards. You know, the thing is that your first year as a speaker, if you're brand new, you could probably spend less than $25,000 to get everything rolling. And be frugal, but show up for the right events and really work on your craft. Work on your presentation every day. As you move down the path of this, right, what teams you're working on is that, without a doubt, get some advisors. There is a way to get free board of advisors, 2 to 3 person boards in cities all across North America. The other thing is getting good mastermind groups. The first mastermind, which is free, is called a virtual mastermind. Look at your phone and pick 4 people. Get on with those 4 people once a month and brainstorm your ideas, brainstorm your businesses. Put it on Zoom, 10 minutes each person, feedback at the end. You make more than $100,000 a year, join some masterminds. I know you see them pop up every day in your social media. Until you've got to $100,000 a year, do not be spending money on things you don't need. Work with a virtual group. Work with people in your phone that you really look up to. You make more than $250,000 a year, start running your own local masterminds. Start giving back. You're going to find 2 books that will help you guys today. Just pick up these books. One's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The other book is called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill and Sharon Lecter. These 2 books will set you on the right path, the right mindset to win, and not just win a little bit, win a lot. And of course, as you move through masterminds, I know it sounds like this is a lot of work, and it is a lot of work, but I will tell you this, that you've got to be willing to go out there and attract a good core team. Begin to find good people. Start with a good accountant. Start with a good lawyer. Get those 2 on your side right away. Make sure you're set up properly. Make sure you're structured right. These are little things, but they're big things. And as you get down to the 3rd quadrant, which I'll talk to you about here in a second, it's called exposure. And I know that you probably heard this before, but how do I get more exposure? So become the expert, get the tools in place, learn the 20-20-20, begin to get some exposure, and know that you're born to share your message. Know that you really are serious about where you're going, and that no one stands in your way. Let nobody or no thing tell you that you can't do it. Write this down on your pad of paper and tell yourself every day, I have big things to do. I have big things to do. And you never know when your last day is. 100,000 people on the planet did not wake up this morning. You did. That means that you've got the greatest gift. It's called the present. So don't take it lightly. Don't take it for granted. If what I'm talking about, what I really talk about, you guys, if this resonates with you guys, I'm just going to pop a link in here. You guys can click that link and you can click on it. I think you can, and you can go, get yourself enrolled in the program. I think it's trying to post now. Maybe we'll see. But, I want to always thank for the opportunity. Maybe it didn't post. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe I'll try to send this to you, Bernardo, because I tried to post, but maybe it didn't like the post. I don't know. We'll see. But if not, I'll give you guys a link to it. If you text in, we'll give you the opt-in from there too. But I will tell you this, that don't be afraid to go after it. And the exposure side, you want to speak to groups like Vistage, VISTAG. It's all millionaires. Look for these millionaires. Get there once again. They're always looking for new authors. So get yourself positioned as that new author. And of course, once you do this, right, you're going to start to see that there's no shortage of opportunities. Bernardo, I just sent you that link, so you can probably pop that link if you can do it. It wouldn't go live for me. Maybe you have more power at that screen, or maybe it did show up. Okay, it's there. Maybe it didn't pop up on some of the brands, but you guys should be able to see it there. And of course, if you're going to go down this path, look at BNIs, Rotaries, Latibs, Chambers, ethnic groups, civic groups, EOs, YPOs, women's groups, anything you can get out there where you can go speak when you're first starting out once a week. I don't care if it's digital or live. It doesn't matter. I like Eventbrite. Go on Eventbrite. You can find unlimited speaking opportunities every week. We'll teach you guys how to open up all those doors to get new speaking opportunities. Don't be lazy with those opportunities, because you know what? You got a voice and a story. And Eventbrite always has events going on. Look for the Eventbrites that have more than 500 followers. If they got 22 followers, pretty good chance no one's going to be at the Eventbrite. So it might look really good. The graphics can look great, but do they actually have people there when you show up? And sometimes it's not easy to fill these events these days. People think it's easy to fill events until they got to go fill events. Then all of a sudden, oh my God, it's not so easy. Because if you don't understand the right marketing tips, if you don't know how to use Eventbrite properly, you can build your affiliate programs through Eventbrite. You can actually launch your programs. We'll show you at the program how I took a brand new program from overnight, launched it the next day, right? And made sales the next day on a product that wasn't even created the day before. So you're going to learn how to launch and create your own digital product at the class and launch it while you're there. And not having to spend 50 grand on all these products and services when there's so much cool software that's free or next to free that you can start making money right away. There's nothing wrong with being frugal. There's nothing wrong with ringing the register. Does that make sense? Don't be afraid of this stuff. And the minute you start to put this in motion, start to think, how do I get better? Well, launch a TV show today, you guys. It's called Twitch. It's free. It's owned by a company called Amazon. Go to twitch.com and get a TV show set up. That can go right on your website. They're the only ones that allow you, believe it or not, they're the only ones that allow you to broadcast live from your website, live TV. Now, YouTube, nobody else does this without charging you premium fees. There's lots of VA services. When we get connected, I'll give you a couple links to the ones we use. $7-8 an hour. Start them at 10 hours a week, not more than that until you fill up their calendar. but I'm glad to help you there. If you guys get your tickets right there, you get to go to any of the 4 events. It's 4 events throughout the year. And I'll tell you this, most important thing, just get plugged in. You know, don't be lazy with your game. There's too much opportunity right now for speakers that have a story, have a message, you're great at what you do. And if you can find a better program for under $1,000, I'll sign up for it today. I'll give you my credit card right now, because I know for a fact that there are not many people in the world that have done the work that I've done and the body of work over 20 or 30 years. And there's no one that's put probably more people on the stages than the stages that we've run over the last 20 years. Maybe Bernardo, because he's done a lot of events too, but very few are in that realm that have helped speakers' careers go through the roof. And I love to help people take their story to a whole nother level. Now, once you got your Twitch set up, everybody, write this down, launch a YouTube channel. You got to learn to use YouTube Shorts. Don't discount YouTube Shorts, and don't discount the platform you're on right now. It's called StreamYard. You can set up your own TV network on this platform right here for under about $1, maybe $1.50 a day. Then you can do your interviews here, your broadcasts here, everything. It records it all for you. You can bring Zoom inside of you. You can actually put Zoom inside your StreamYard now. You can broadcast the 9+ channels on your social media. And guys, please write this down. You don't got to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. I didn't envision that 10 years ago we'd have our own TV network. Now we're launching the GBN, the Global Broadcasting Network. We didn't have the Global Business Network until less than a couple of years. I couldn't believe those domains were available, but now we own them all. And now we're looking for TV hosts. And every month we film TV shows in Dallas and broadcast them all over the world. I watched a young guy in the last couple of years, and I didn't have nothing to do with this guy, but his success is crazy. He's generating now close to $100 million a month on $5 to $8 memberships. I can't wait to share with you guys his case study, because I'm telling you, it's second to none what this guy's created. He's 32 years old. So stop telling me what you can't do. Let's focus on what you can do. And of course, the last quadrant we'll talk about, because I know a lot of times people don't like this one, but it's certainly the one that I believe drives the most success of all the quadrants I've shared with you today. It's called execution. And I'll try to get all these quadrants in there for you. You can see them all. But execution for a speaker is be consistent. Become consistently persistent. Begin to book your events. Buy yourself a monthly calendar, a calendar at a glance for the whole year. I know it sounds crazy. I know it's old school, but I still use these old planners. You know why? Because they work in conjunction with my digital planners. And begin to schedule all the events you plan to speak at. Does that make sense? Began to schedule. The second book was called Outwitting the Devil, with Sharon Lecter and Napoleon Hill. Outwitting the Devil. It's on Audible. That book I would listen on Audible versus reading. It's better on Audible. It's just that powerful. But in addition to this, when you start to think this through, right, is that you got to make sure that you're scheduling your success. I talked about this on a broadcast yesterday. If you don't schedule your success, you've already planned your failure. We book our events a year and a half, 2 years in advance. The dates are published. The events are published. The locations are done. The contracts are signed. I'm not saying you got to do that, but you got to plan your next 90 days, your next 180 days, and you run your business in 90-day runs. How big can we build the list? How many new clients can we serve? How many people we can get in front of? How many presentations am I going to do? Because it goes back to the same thing. Peak, present, serve customers. Peak, present, and serve customers. And people have to realize that the fortune's in the follow-up. So, you know, if what I've talked about today resonates with you guys, don't be afraid to ask for the sale. When you know your value's 10 times what people are paying you for it, listen, if they don't do it, it's okay. Your life's not going to change. But realize you have a message, you have a story. And why would you take that story to your grave when people need to hear what you've done? People need to learn from you. But it's always about taking action. You know, so on the idea of getting the right team, the right process, nothing ever happens perfect, you guys. So go out there and make some mistakes. Go out there and do some things wrong. I make mistakes every day. I miss things every day that I could have done that better. Because once the time goes by, it's gone. Does that make sense, everybody? I know that you've got some things on here around. I like TED Talks. I think TED Talks are great. We'll teach you guys how to give your TED Talks. We'll teach you how to get booked on TED Talks. You know, I'm not a huge fan because I mainly spent most of my career doing speak to sell. So if I don't get paid to show up, I'm not in a big rush to go over there. And I think I will do in one of these days. But you know what? I think once again that Be your own. Don't worry about what everybody else is. Everybody else is going left, man. Go right. You don't got to follow everybody else's tracks. Go blaze your own saddle. Go utilize tools that build your own database. It took us 5 years to build a great database. Within 5 years, we became one of the top 10 seminar companies in the world because we built internal databases. We no longer had to count on somebody else's event or someone else's stage. We built all of our own stuff. We can now run events with 3 to 5 days notice and put 50 to 100 people in events on a regular basis. And we run digital events every day. We run live events every week in multiple cities. And the idea, once again, is that, you know what? Build your internal base so strong. So on the execution model, always think about, how do I keep adding more value? Just keep adding more value. If you do that, you're going to get some of the best results. And as you start to go down this path, once again, don't be afraid of what you don't know, but be willing to show up and learn for what you know you need to know. How do you book hotel contracts? How do you actually save money on hotel contracts? How do you book the right hotel in a strange city? You know, how do you do all these things? We'll share a lot of this stuff with you at the program. For some people, if all we did was share with you some of those tips on that, how to fill your own events, it's probably worth about 50 grand, because I'm telling you how much it costs to do it wrong. I've watched people drop hundreds of thousands of dollars because they were never trained how to properly fill events or negotiate events. And maybe for you, just starting out, you don't got to worry about that. But if you're in the midst of some of this stuff, there's none of the stuff that we haven't seen over 30 years of doing live events, and really the last 20 years all under the Power Team International brand. The last things I'll talk about when it comes to execution is to begin to build perfect days. Begin to build great habits. Work on your talk. Never, ever, ever stop researching your niche. Get to the top of the space in your niche by doing the work. Do the work every day that other people just won't do. And you're going to find that tomorrow becomes so much brighter for you. And when they bitch, you praise. You know, when they're complaining, you just keep smiling. You have a lot of success. Don't say anything, because you know you've done the work in advance. You watch professionals in sports, when they take the stage, man, they own the stage. Whether you like LeBron James or not, doesn't matter. When he walked on the court, he looked at it like it was his court. I want you to look at your business, your area of expertise, like it's your court. You own that court because you paid the price in advance for the success. But the execution side says you've got to see the people tell the story. You've got to use really good sales processes. You got to make sure you got the language down. You got to make sure you print good materials. Don't skimp on your marketing stuff. Invest in good collateral. Does that make sense? Invest in stuff that makes your brand look good, right? I know it sounds crazy. Invest in folders. Invest in digital assets. And if you're not good at this stuff, find people that are. But I will tell you this in closing, that get around great people. Get around people that feed your vision. They feed your mission. They feed your story. And you know that they're cheering for you. And do this as fast as you can. Get rid of all the negative people in your life. Stop spending time with the dream stealers, because they will suck the life out of you. And before you know it, you'll quit like them, because they want you to be where they're at. They praise when you fail. And so if you're around really powerful, positive people, they don't talk about negative things. They talk about, how do we get better? How do we collectively, as a collective, get better? How do we work to make each other's stories and our products and services better? And that's the group you want to spend your time with. And if you like what you've heard about today, get on that link, get yourself a ticket, get yourself reserved. I just want to check one thing. I want to make sure that we've got, because I know sometimes that we have special pricing on some of these events. I just want to make sure the website has the right price, because it's got the right price in there, guys. It's normally $3,000, but if you take action today, we'll leave that price out there so you can save a couple $1,000s. We do virtual events, and I will be in the UK. I'll be there at the end of this month. So we do events in Dubai. We do events in Armenia. We do events in London. We do them in Malaysia, Singapore. But if you're in London, sure, man, just send me a message or hit me on Instagram. Love to follow up with you guys. And you know what? Listen, take the flight. Come to Vegas for a few days. I'm going to give you guys a Take Action today, a really cool bonus. It's valued at $1,000 by itself. It's only for those that take action now. And I promise you this, you're going to love it. So Bernardo, with that, I'm going to turn it back to you. I hope this was helpful for some of your listeners. And if there's a replay, if you guys could do me a huge favor, share the replay and share the story. I love you guys. Thanks for having me. Bernardo, back to you.
Bill, thank you so much. As always, amazing. People just couldn't catch up. I mean, because there's just like so much knowledge and wisdom between those ears.
Well, and I live this stuff every day. The new TV network is called GBN, so Global Broadcasting Network, and we're doing shows on there, and we're going to promote on Bernardo's got channels. All these guys got channels. We can put our stuff on different channels at the same time. So we're glad to share the content.
Bill, you've helped so many people. You've helped so many people over the years. I mean, I think kind of one of the things that we both identified is that there's I always say there's people that are probably in their 30s already and they've given up on life. They've given up on their dream. They've given up on their vision. They think it's too late, even in, whatever. There's people that have these dreams, they think about it and they're in the processes, but they never take action. And then there's those that go out there and make it happen and create their reality. What's your thoughts? Because obviously you worked with a lot of people. And
I think my thoughts is that everybody, it starts with small victories. Nobody just goes out there and they don't just become NBA or global champs, right? You hear about this guy Messi and you hear about all these famous people. Well, but you never see the hours. LeBron James started basketball in 4th grade. By the time he was in 8th grade, he was filling high school stadiums. By the time he was a sophomore, he was filling college stadiums where people want to come and watch him play. But they don't realize that he'd already been playing for 10 years. He'd been playing basketball year-round since he was in 5th grade. So don't ever try to measure yourself against somebody else's success. Create success on your terms. And if you go slow and you're consistent, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. Work on your family, your faith and fun, and let the business wrap around that. So if someone else, oh my God, they're on all these stages doing all these events, you don't know the work that goes behind this stuff. I didn't want to wake up at 4 o'clock this morning and be on Fox at 4:32 and 4:57, but it didn't matter. I committed to be there. So I made sure last night that I went to bed early, like around midnight. So I got at least 4 hours sleep, but I was ready. So, it's so much of it. People don't realize the work that goes in behind the scenes, so don't be afraid to fail and don't ever let someone else try to steal your dreams or steal your thunder. And don't let other people dictate your quality or level of success. Create success only on your terms, not somebody else's. And Genesis and some of the guys that are on today, thank you so much, Paul. I see all your comments. Thank you so much. I'm sure this will get broadcast out to some more networks, but for the diehards that show up, I love you guys, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Bill. So what's next? I know you've got a lot going on, but what's actually next? Where are you off to?
We're doing a big hotel project in Las Vegas right now. So if anybody wants a great hotel for events, it's called Ahern Hotel. They've got a massive 25,000 square foot event center. So we're working on that project. We're launching a new TV show in Dallas. We've relaunched the Rainmaker show every week now. We also have Power Team Live, which is one of our channels on multiple networks at the same time. And now for the first time, we're launching our own network. So we found a world-class facility to shoot video in and edit. And this guy is the best in the business, 20 years in news, has 7 studios in Dallas alone. So in terms of world-class production, we found that. You can now do your own show there. You can shoot it on all of our networks. We do a flat rate and we do co-marketing together. So that's one of our newest ventures. We're opening a 50,000 square foot incubator center in Vegas. So anyone that wants free office space in Vegas, message me. If you got a new business, new idea, it comes with lawyers, it comes with marketing teams, it comes with accountants, it comes with printing services, all inside of one 50,000 square foot facility. And I'll tell you this, that we're looking to find 25 firms here we can help grow. So if you've ever thought about being a part of an incubator group, just get plugged in.
Brilliant. Bill, congratulations.
And that's
enough. That is enough, man. You've got a lot going on as always. Bill, someone was asking before, would you mind giving you the text number again? Text you in?
Oh, yeah. I'll type it in there too. If you just text the word WIN 26786 for a free, if I could spell free, copy of my book, The Obvious. There you go. A bunch of networks now. They can all type it right there, and you get it free.
And I remember it was because
a chance to follow up. Yeah, I mean, it's been a great. People know what to do. It's not they don't know what to do. They just kind of makes it easy for you to see it right in print, right? So it's been an Amazon bet. I think we've sold now more than 50,000 copies of this book. So it works
because someone wrote The Secret, and you decided to.
That's right. They wrote The Secret, so I wrote The Obvious. Get off your ass and go to work. What a concept.
I love you, Bill. All right. Well, listen, thank you so much. Everyone loved it. Thank you so much.
Talk to you later. I got to run.
All right, take care. All the best. Thank you. All right, guys. So I'm sure you enjoyed that. Bill's always a fountain of knowledge. He's definitely, without a doubt, one of the best speakers I've seen. I highly recommend that you take advantage. Simply, hey, listen, get his free book. Text him. I would recommend you sign up to his training programs. You've got a great offer there. I'm going to put that out there as well. There's a couple of comments here. Well, the best thing is text him. I mean, you can text him. You can contact him on Instagram. We've shared his Instagram account as well. That's the best way. And then also you've got the code here to sign up to his program. So that's his Instagram if you wanted to connect with him that way. And I know a lot of you are probably going to be watching this as a recording. As he said, look, please make sure that you share it. It's an opportunity for you and friends of yours to be able to take advantage of all the amazing knowledge and expertise that he shared here today. So listen, I'll be back in just a few minutes. We're going to play a very quick commercial. I'm going to be talking about a little bit more about the plans and what's happening at the Best You, a little bit about all the exciting things we've got happening behind the scenes, and how you, if you're a speaker, if you're a coach, if you're a trainer, if you're an author, if you're an entrepreneur, how you can also take advantage of a lot of the opportunities and situations that we create for speakers to literally, kind of create, share their story. We've done this with over 1,000 speakers. Over the years, we've had over 100,000 attendees, and we're very excited that we're back in 2024 with a couple of venues, Vegas and London. See you soon.
The Best You Expo has a history of connecting inspirational speakers, leaders, with those looking at becoming the best version of themselves. Previous speakers like Dave Asprey, Jim Quick, Marissa Peer, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Brian Rose, Paul McKenna, Barbara De Angelis, Marie Diamond, Dr. John DeMartini, Baroness Michelle Marr, and many more. The Best You Expo has promoted over 1,000 speakers and has been attended by over 100,000 people. International events have been held in the UK and in California, and the Best You Expo will be coming back in 2024 to Las Vegas, bigger, bolder. The Best You Expo will also be streaming on the Best You TV, and this event is for anyone and everyone that wants to commit, reach, and inspire. So act now. Get involved. For more information, go to www.thebestyouexpo.com.
Hey, so here we're back at the Best You Expo Global Summit. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about, as I said, some of the amazing things that we've done over the years and how you can get involved in the Best You Expo. So I'm going to be talking about a little bit about my story. So for some of you that may not know, I was originally born in London. My parents spoke Spanish. I was born in London, but I was brought up in Spain. I spent pretty much all my life in Spain. And I was always interested in personal professional growth. I read a lot of the greats: Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, Les Brown. Always interested in personal professional growth. To be honest, it was always more about kind of how can I use these skills personally, but also how can I create, expertise for all the people that I had working for me. Always very interested in that. So over the years, that was kind of my main thing. And it was really in my mid-30s when I came across NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And it really fascinated me because although I knew a lot, or I thought I did, related to personal professional growth, I never really understood kind of what NLP was. And it really blew me away. I'm not sure how many of you, please, if you're familiar with NLP, and we've got an NLP expert joining us tomorrow, David Snyder. If you have, or you've got some experience with NLP, I'd love to hear what you've done. If you've been a practitioner, master practitioner, what your thoughts are about NLP. I think it's one of the most powerful skills that's out there. It really is a set of skills that enables you to understand and appreciate kind of your thought process, what you're thinking about, to create awareness, but it's also a set of language patterns. So it's the neuro, the head, the linguistic, the language patterns, and then the programming, those series of techniques that you use and implement to be able to become a better communicator. NLP is used for everything and anything. Doctors, obviously sports athletes, coaches. It's used in all the language that you see in a lot of the best copywriters that are out there. They use NLP, and it's been used for many, many years. I had the pleasure of working with Dr. Richard Bandler for 11 years. I became a trainer. And I remember standing in the middle of the room at my mid-30s thinking, oh my God, why am I learning this now? So for me, NLP is what really put me on the map of what I'm doing today. The bottom line is I lost kind of my money twice at the age of 26 and then at the age of 35, 36. It was tough then because, as I shared before in a video I've shared many times, is, I tasted wealth. So I thought kind of I knew what it was all about. And it was only because I had those set of skills. I think I was prepared to do things that I'd never felt before. And it was always about, what can I do next? When the real estate bubble crashed, it happened and I lost everything. Because I had those set of skills, I really started looking at, the solutions. What could I do? Focusing on the outcome, not focusing on the problem. And I was very aware of my thoughts and, making sure that I was thinking positively and I wasn't allowing any negative internal language or negative people to be surrounded by. So that was my main thing. Well, it was in that process of running NLP events in London that I came across, the industry. I really understood. I didn't really have a lot of experience. I used to run parties. I was a DJ when I was younger, but I never actually got to run events until I got to London. And I started promoting these events for Dr. Richard Bandler. And it was in that process that I started identifying that there are there were a lot of people, a lot of businesses, a lot of promoters doing events, and the personal development world was a very fragmented one. It was a very fragmented one, and I thought that, well, why is it? Why do people? Why do these event promoters literally only promote a number of speakers? So Success Resources would promote Tony Robbins and would promote, I don't know, Robert Kiyosaki. Paul McKenna. It was only these promoters that would promote very big names. But what would happen to those speakers that didn't have a voice, that didn't have the platform, where they were just simply trying to start? So the idea of the Best You came from that, was with providing a platform for people. First thing I did was I started doing some research and looking, is a brand, is there a brand called the Best You? And it was only when I started really looking into it that I really realized that there wasn't a brand called the Best You. And so, hey, I kind of took it. I took it for granted that there was, but there wasn't. We started with a magazine, and then after 2-3 years, then after that, I started doing our first event. And the first event was called the Best You Expo. We did this in London. It was hard. It was tough. I remember it took me nearly 4 months to put this event. It took me nearly a year, but it took me 4 months really to the logistics, because it was 5 stages, 4 or 5 stages. We had around 55 speakers. It was in a big conference hall. Cost me a lot of money to produce, because every single room was being filmed and recorded. And obviously we were expecting thousands of people. I remember that I shared a story that I went out to the front door to see how many people were there. And all of a sudden, there was only 6. And I thought, oh my God, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? There's only 6 people here, and there's so many speakers. And I remember so much fear. And putting this event together was very, very scary. A lot of the events, and anyone that I'd love to know, how many of you are event promoters? Again, if you promote events, I'd love to know. And I've asked someone in the team to share a survey. Again, we shared this survey yesterday. But I'd love to know who you are, if you're a speaker, if you're an author, if you're a coach. And then we'll also ask you some questions regarding kind of what is it you need help with? Because if anything, what we are at the Best You is we're a super connector. We're a great networking group, a great networking company. We have access to anyone and everyone. As I said, over those 1,000 speakers that are promoted over the years, it's been all sorts of great, phenomenal people. But I'd love to know a little bit more about you. So hopefully at the end of this talk, we can engage in what opportunities I could create for you. But the bottom line with that event is it was very scary. I'd never done an event like that before. I did many events within NLP. They're kind of standard 250 people twice a year for the NLP practitioner. I used to do events called Get the Life You Want, which we had 700, 1,000 people attend. So I did a lot of those. And I think over the 11 years, I promoted, we had around 25,000 people attend all the different types of events. But it was the Best You Expo that kind of really challenged me, because I'd never done an event like that. If I fast forward year 2, year 3, year 4, and I remember every single time I finished the event, I always said, I'm never, ever doing one of these events ever again. Never. Because it was just so challenging. It was so difficult. I shared a story. I had loads of hair before I started. Look at me now, completely bald. So, I've lost all my hair, and I lost all my hair in the process. But I it's this kick, you know. The kick is that we were doing things, and the reason I was doing these events was because when I was walking through the hall and I was seeing people's faces and everyone walking into the different types of rooms, because all the rooms that we've done, they're always different. You know, we would have a room that would be best for business, passion to profit, the inspiration zone, the love and consciousness room, the health and lifestyle, masters, mentors, and influencers, empowering women. All these rooms were very different. And I've just got a comment here, someone that says NLP is a great tool for everybody. So the bottom line is that I continue to do these events, and every year it got tougher because it was more challenging, and I obviously had to bring more people. So we went from year one, 3,000 attendees at the end. I walked out to the door. As I said, there was only 6 people. I thought, oh my God, what's going to happen? Eventually, we had around 2,000 or 3,000 people show up, 3,000 people show up throughout the 3 days. My year 2, we had 6,000. And then on year 3, it was 12,000 people. And then year 4, I remember I walked out to the door. We were running a little bit late to open the doors. And I couldn't see the end of the queue. There was at least 2,500 people waiting to get in. And I remember I was so shocked and so nervous that I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? How can I get all these people inside? I got so nervous. I should have actually done a photograph or a video. It would have been absolutely fantastic. And that was our last kind of live event where we had massive attendees, 14,000 people. I've done events in Long Beach. I've done events in Los Angeles and in California. And obviously the world has changed, and when I moved and took the company to the US was to really expand and explore the opportunities of how we can create and use the best you to kind of really reach, more people. So, but I have to say, and Bill was saying this, look, a lot of the times, and I really I would love some interaction here. I'd love to know. Now, when I lost all my money in my mid-30s, it was a very tough moment. It was very dark. It was very challenging. And then, kind of with that, even putting and promoting these events are moments where, it's just tremendous pressure, tremendous stress. These events in London, we're talking about 155 speakers, 9 stages, each of them equipped with AV producers and AV engineers and camera operators and 50, 60 volunteers, and the logistics around making it all happen, bios, pictures, promote them all on social media, create Instagram stories and videos and put them all on, and then obviously drive traffic to it, because at the end of the day, you can work your socks off, you can create a fantastic, phenomenal production, but it is down to the footfall. But how many of you, and I'd love to know, how many of you have actually found yourself in a very challenging situation whereby all of a sudden, you think everything is against you? How many of you have hit rock bottom and you think that there's no way out? How many of you are kind of, not really pushing yourselves and playing it safe? These are really valuable questions, because I think kind of what makes the man and the woman and the individual itself is really challenging yourself. I think a lot of the times, even when we've done these events, and a lot of the times I've questioned myself, why do I do it? Well, I do it because it makes me feel uncomfortable, because I love the challenge. And as I said, I've gone through quite a few of these. And I've also gone through moments where, as I said, that last event, 14,500 people showed up. And I was walking through the halls and seeing all the speakers, seeing all the attendees, seeing their faces. And there's moments of tremendous joy. And that's when you think, okay, this is why I'm doing this. So Bill was sharing some of these things before. He was talking some of the ideas. At the moment is a lot of people don't see the work that you put behind it. People don't appreciate the effort and everything, that all the different moving parts that need to happen to create events. I think if anything, kind of what has come from a lot of these events that I've done over the years is just to simply identify kind of like, who is out there that really is aligned with your vision, who really is aligned with kind of believing that we all have a story that needs to be shared, and there has to be an opportunity for us to be able to do that. I'm a massive fan of all these great speakers: Jim Quick, Dean Graziosi, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins. All these are phenomenal speakers. And there's quite a few more. The Les Browns, the Jack Canfields, and so on. But why can't more people present their expertise? Why isn't there more opportunities for more speakers to be able to reach more people? So this is kind of my quest, and this is the quest of the best you. I think, if anything, you know, where I'm at the moment, and you know, I'm in my late 50s, is I'm still a believer. I'm still a believer that it's never too late. It's never too late to, obviously, you know, to create and change the world. And this part of my life, if anything, I think I've become more aware, because I suppose the reality of my mortality is that, you know, love is a very important aspect of life. So everything that we do, we have to do from a place of love. I think elevating consciousness and sharing important messages related to love, to helping people, to helping others, to making the world a better place is something that has to happen. I'm the founder of the Best You, and as the founder of the Best You, I have to be congruent with that message. I can't be incongruent. I've seen a lot of people, I must say, within the industry that are completely incongruent. I see a lot of people that, believe that for whatever reason, you know, it's okay just to simply focus on the money or simply focus on the material things. But I believe that we should, and there's an obligation for so many of us to go out there, push our limiting beliefs, and to create phenomenal stories and opportunities for people, to inspire people around the world. Now, there's a couple of people here that I wanted to kind of put some comments. I just want to interrupt this because I want the interaction. So grateful, Best you attended 2019. Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Paul. Yes, that was a fantastic event. We got a comment here saying that I need to challenge myself and learn more how to use social media and create posts, videos. We absolutely must. I think we have to find ways. We have to find ways to make anything happen. And that's the priority, if anything. Shannon, they're saying lost everything, was homeless. So that's it. There's so many people with great stories out there. And the reason, for example, now this event, for example, the Best You Expo Global Summit, and I appreciate it. You know, there's multiple events out there, and you know, a lot of people might be kind of overwhelmed with the amount of online events that are happening and live events to a degree. But I think, if anything, I think it's really important to show up. I think it's really important to show up. I think there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that have registered to this event today, and there's only a few that have shown up. So I want to congratulate you, and I want to thank you all for being here today. And that's what it is all about. What it's all about is about showing up. I shared before my thoughts. I think there's a lot of people out there, and even in their mid-30s, that have given up with their dream. They think they've learned certain skills, and they don't think that they can grow, change, evolve. I think there's a lot of people that believe or dream or have the hopes because they've done the training courses, but they don't take action. They haven't decided to become a coach. They haven't decided to become a speaker. They haven't decided to become an author. They're still holding back. And then there's those that go out and make it happen. So I'm really, if anything, with the Best You, and that's what I've had over the years, is I've had opportunities to identify, work, and collaborate with a lot of people. And I think, if anything, my plan moving forward is to obviously adapt to the new times, but also, most importantly, to be able to explore partnerships with people around the world, people that would want to be part of what we do, part of the Best You. And the conversations are completely open. And it's open to discuss about, maybe, hey, we could do an expo in India. Maybe we could do an expo in Germany. Maybe there's someone that wants to run an event within the event. We're really looking at the Best You Expos and running multiple events within the events. So there's opportunities for a lot of people to collaborate and to be involved with what we're doing. Now, what I wanted to do is I wanted to take this opportunity. So if there's any questions so far, I think obviously Genesis has put the survey and the questionnaire out there. I'd love you, if you can, Genesis, just to put out there kind of how many speakers or coaches or authors do we have. I'd love to know how many of you have explored in maybe standing out and being more involved in finding these opportunities for you to share your message. Now, all these talks that we've done over the years with the Best You Expo, because for me, it wasn't only really about creating the events and that live experience. It was about what can we do with that talk, and how can we create an extensive life for it. So every single talk that's happened at the expos, we have then put them on an online platform. And we've also put them on a TV network, the Best You TV. So these talks are all available. So anyone that has spoken in our previous events, these talks are out there. But if anything, I think, there has to be opportunities for us to be able to explore kind of how we could reach more people and how we can really target a global market. Because I was talking about the Dean Graziosis, I think in a recent event, Tony Robbins had Tony Robbins and Michael McConaughey, the actor, I think they had around 2.5 million people connected. I know Tony Robbins has done events where he's got 4 or 5 million people that have attended. But my question is, why can't we, and I'm saying the best you, why can't we, for example, have stages where we reach hundreds of thousands of people? Why can't we reach more people? And why can't the talks that we're sharing on the stages be seen at the same time? I believe that the world has changed obviously dramatically. I'm not discovering anything new here. But I really believe that the live events industry has not died. But I also believe that there is opportunities for us to be able to reach more people. And part of what we're doing and part of what we're sharing at the Best You moving forward is for us to be able to do that with multiple events in multiple locations. So we're exploring and going back to London. We're looking at February next year. We're finalizing the venue at the moment. But we should have it confirmed very soon. We've already got Vegas, and Vegas is between the 12th and 14th of April 2024. And then we've got other locations, Dallas and Miami, but it might be completely other locations as well. So we're exploring in new expos around the world. But if you know someone or someone that might be interested in taking the Best You Expo anywhere in the world, I would love to talk about that. I'd love to explore how we could do that. So obviously there's a history here of people that have attended, the amount of attendance that we have. These events are obviously events that, we engage, we drive, we create, we educate, we influence. I mean, we create a phenomenal opportunity. But this is the most exciting thing that I wanted to share with you guys today. So moving forward, what we're planning on doing is we would always only stream one of the stages, the main stage. So the main stage speakers is the room that we would stream. But now what we're planning on doing is streaming every single room. So we got maybe 5, 6, 7 rooms happening at our events. All the rooms are themed differently. But what we're planning on doing is incorporating AI, simultaneous translations via captions. So that means that anyone in Spain, anyone in Brazil, anyone in Germany could be listening and watching your talk from anywhere in the world. And it gives the option for all our content that is available now to also be simultaneously translated via captions into the descriptions. So this is where we're moving towards, is in implementing technology. So our next expos, we're planning on having at least 7 languages: Spanish, French, German, Mandarin, Japanese, and Arabic. So this is where we're taking the space. And part of what we're also planning within the Best You is to bring the whole aspect of being able to connect with more people. So streaming this is something that is very appealing, but also we want to bring new technology. I think one of the things, Bill was talking about previously, how important it is to be up to date. Technology is changing at a rate which is obviously, scary. I'm a massive fan of ChatGPT. I'm sure a lot of you are. If you're not, I highly recommend that you use it. I use it every single day for everything that I'm doing. I encourage all my teams to use it. So an important aspect of the Best You, becoming a better individual, the Best You, which is what it's all about, is being also up to date with new technology and AI. So this is a really important transition and bringing that. So it's not only about the personal growth, but it's also the professional growth. So we're bringing a lot more around that. These are some of the speakers that we've had over the years, from Jim Quick to Marie Diamond to Marissa Peer, Dave Asprey, Greg Reed, obviously Bill, and Les Brown, which was beautiful for me to share the stage with him and also to provide him an opportunity to speak at some of our events was one of my highlights in my life. But the Expo audience, obviously, we've got the programs, we've got the magazines, but we're exploring at partnership opportunities. Now, I'm going to be sharing here a link, which is simply for you guys to be able to get involved in speaking at the Best You Expo. So if you wanted to, all you got to do is go to thebestyouexpo.com, thebestyouexpo.com, and go to opportunities. And under opportunities, you'll see a tab that says speak. So all you got to do is just simply go there, bestyouexpo.com, and then go and apply to speak. Now, the reason you wanted to get involved now, is because, first of all, it's about action takers. The people that get involved now will take advantage of, number one, very, very early bird discounts. I mean, we've been offering, not anymore, but we offered free booths valued at $3,500. We offer massive discounts. There's payment plans. There's also opportunities, obviously, for you to be promoted for longer. There's also opportunities for us to promote you for longer, and for us to create awareness of your knowledge and expertise. So there's partnership opportunities here. It might be that you want to talk to us about sponsoring. It might be that you have an event and you're interested in running your event within our event. Yes, that's what we're planning on doing. So we're really exploring what we can do with the Expo. So there's opportunities for people to get involved in multiple ways. Now, this is a floor plan that we've got kind of scheduled for Las Vegas at the moment, and it might change. But we're going to have multiple stages. We've got a main stage of around 800 seats. We've got a partner stage, so we're looking for someone that might want to run an event. It might be that we've got an AI event happening in there. It might be that we've got a biohacking event. It might be that we've got a different type of event or multiple events. So there's all these different stages: the AI in tech, best for business, the inspiration zone, the book signing, the newsroom, the masters, mentors, and influencers, empowering women, always very, very busy room, the love and consciousness, mindfulness and well-being, passion to profit. Now, within Zoom or whatever, wherever you're connecting, or within YouTube or Facebook, just feel free to put your email address in there if you wanted us to contact you, and someone in my team will schedule a call so you can talk to me and we can discuss kind of how you could get involved. But this is kind of the layout that we're planning for 2024 for Vegas. As I said, the dates are confirmed. You can write them down, 12th to the 14th of April. Back in Vegas, really implementing new technology, simultaneous translation in 7 languages, so anyone and everyone around the world can watch it. My goal is for us to have thousands of people attending live, thousands and thousands of people attending live, but the objective is to have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people watching it from all over the world. Now, is my dream, I don't know, is it too big? Am I thinking too big? Am I thinking too out the box? Well, I don't believe so. And I don't believe so. And I'm not going to allow anyone to tell me that it's not, because I think it's an opportunity that, you know, we need to take advantage of. And I think we need to believe that anything and everything is possible. So I'm very excited about what we're bringing and how we're transitioning. And I think it's a fantastic opportunity. So I think in particular that if you are interested in exploring a way where you can start speaking, can present your products, you should be really exploring the opportunity to work with us. As I said, over 1,200 speakers over these years, over 100,000 attendees. But there's a deeper conversation. And the space that we're doing is a beautiful conference hall. It's called the Business Expo. It's just off the strip. It's 100,000 square feet we've got in there. We've also got a gala dinner that we're going to be doing on a Saturday night. There's phenomenal opportunities to network. We're going to have an app which will enable each of the speakers and anyone that's involved to network. The networking aspect is something that we're really going to be enhancing moving forward. If you've been involved, well, speak to us, because there's going to be opportunities for us to take care of you as a recurring customer. But anyway, that's it. These are the different zones. These are the different types of speaker packages. We can give you this information. We can send you the deck. Again, just put your email address in the chat or connect with anyone in my team. I think we've got several people from my team, George, Genesis. They're all logged on Zoom. You can connect with them. And we will stream it live on the Best You TV as well. And all that content will also be available on the Best You Online. So it isn't only about the people that's in the room. It's going to be about how many people can we get to see your talk from all over the world. A lot of people focus so much. I've seen this so many times. Speakers, I've only got 100 people in the room. Well, who cares if 10,000 people watch your talk afterwards? We're still thinking in an old way. So many speakers still focusing on the live audience in the room. Forget that. That's what a TED Talk is. A TED Talk is based in a small room with 30 people, 50 people, 100 people, and all of a sudden, thousands of people watch it around the world. That's where I'm going with the Best You. And my objective is to make sure that our events are global, that we run multiple expos around the world, but also, most importantly, that we have hundreds of thousands of people watching it in multiple languages. So there's loads of reviews and testimonials from people that have spoken over the years. And I'm just very excited in the opportunity of collaborating and working. And sometimes, if anything, I really think it's not about reinventing the wheel. And if I'm doing anything now moving forward, is really exploring and digging deep into the partnership, exploring people that I know and that I work with who might be interested in having or sharing the stage or having an event within our event. Building partnerships, creating relationships with people. I believe that obviously within the industry, I have access to anyone in the world. I'm coaching and mentoring people. But apart from that, I'm also very interested in providing opportunities for speakers to be able to connect with my network, with the network that the Best You has created over the years. So I wanted to make sure that I give the opportunities to for some questions. So if you have any questions, please put them in the box now. We've got a message here from Anna. Sorry, if you have any questions, please put them in now because I'd love to answer them. And if there's any opportunities. Yes, we got Paul Smith. Thank you, Paul, for being here. You've been very proactive. You already signed up for London. We're excited to have you. And we can't wait to go back to London. London was obviously our home. It's where we started. We've got a good venue already kind of semi-confirmed. We're trying to finalize it. And we're looking for speakers, obviously, to London. If you're a speaker or you're someone in the US, well, there's not a greater opportunity to become an international speaker than speaking in London. So let me see. Miriam, you do translations, but you're not a robot. Okay, well, we can make you speak like a robot. But no, it's fine. These simultaneous translations are all captions, and they're all done through AI. It's a very cool technology. We're using a company called Interprify, which has worked with so many companies over the years. So I think, if anything, what I wanted to leave you with was with the idea that anything and everything is possible. I've encountered many failures, and I failed quite a few times in my life. And it's those failures and those moments where obviously, the world seems against you, and all of a sudden, your friends or so-called friends tend to disappear. But I think in those dark moments is where real people are made. And the Best You has had that experience as well. Is I've lived it personally in my own life, with obviously the loss of my mom, and my divorce and my separation, and then the process of moving to the US, and then the pandemic, and then obviously affecting the business and having to reinvent the business. And I'm in that same process again now. We don't have necessarily all the answers, but we're extremely proactive, and we're always looking at working with people. So there's a question here that I wanted to put out. When applying to be the application for all the events, or just 2 of them, it's entirely up to you. Anyone could be involved in any of the events, and there's so many opportunities. So from speaking, from just simply having a booth, from speaking and exhibiting, from speaking in one of the bigger stages, there's opportunity to speak on the main stage. But it really is up to you. And obviously you could speak in one event only. It could be London, it could be in Las Vegas, or it could be in both. I would highly recommend that, and especially because there's better deals for you to consider working in multiple events or speaking in multiple events. I also believe that, kind of right now, there's I think within the next 3 to 4 to 5 years, and maybe even less, I think in the next 3 to 4 years, I think the world is going to change dramatically. I think, it has already. I mean, how many of you are using ChatGPT? And who would have thought that Google would have gone out of fashion? Well, it happened pretty much overnight. And all of a sudden, it has changed. And then look at AI and look at the amount of apps and all the apps that are out there for you to be able to use. I mean, Bill was mentioning captions. I use captions. It's all done based on AI. It copyrights for you. So it's a really important time to transition. It's a really important time to be ahead of the game. I don't think there's been a more important time because of the pandemic, because of the economic challenges that the world's having, to become a global brand. It's never been more important to help people and to reach people around the world. A lot of the expertise that we have, that we take for granted, well, look, guess what? Isn't available for a lot of people. I know, we know that what we learn at school isn't necessarily what, we've used in life. But I do really believe that we have to completely reinvent ourselves. In my previous book, The Question, Find Your True Purpose, I talk about resilience. I think I talk about the 3 R's. I think the most important R's, the most one is resilience, And resilience is that inner strength that we all have within us, and we all have it. And we've all gone through it. I think, you know, whenever we've had a challenge, we've lost someone, or I don't know, we've had problems with business, all of a sudden we see what we're made of. And that's when we see the resilience. But we can tap into it. But why do we have to wait for those moments? You know, why don't we tap into it? Why don't we become stronger, harder, work better, be more positive, you know, explore what is possible, break those limiting beliefs. So tap into the resilience. The other thing is revolution. And revolution is change. We have to change. Richard Bandler was saying that a lot of people, you know, they're still using the same software in their phones, but in their minds, people are still using the same software that they used maybe 20 years ago. They haven't adapted either to new technology, or they're choosing not to. They're not learning new skills. They don't think that they can become someone else. They don't think that they can reinvent themselves. And that's it. That's the third one, is obviously reinventing yourself. We have to be prepared to reinvent yourselves. And I've gone through this personally, and I've gone through this in business as well. I've always explored, what do we need to do to be ahead of the game? So in this process right now, for me and for us and the brand, is the original dream I had. The original dream that I had was the best you to become a multi-platform, online, magazine, expos, TV, and networking groups. But I wanted it to be global. I wanted it to reach millions of people. Why can't we have a Best You Expo in India? Why can't we have a Best You Expo in China? You know, why not? Because there's inspirational speakers all around the world, and people need inspiration. So that's my dream. That's my vision. And a lot of the times, obviously, I can't do it on my own. I can't. But I'm very, very excited and very interested in exploring what those opportunities would be like. There's any opportunities. Go to thebestyou.co. www.thebestyou.co. I'm going to type it in here as well, because we've just literally revamped the webpage at the moment, and there's opportunities there for you to apply, to speak, to connect, to partner. If not, just send an email to info@thebestyou.co, and you can send an email to me. If you send an email to info@thebestyou.co, address it to me, and I'll respond. You can also simply leave your contact details with anyone in my team in the chat. But I love to explore. I love to talk to you. I love to see if you believe in the same kind of things, if you believe that, you know, there's never been a more important time to share our message, if you're exploring how that could look like, what those opportunities could look like, you know, now is the time. So I wanted to know if there's any questions here regarding either the expo or... I've just got a couple of comments here. Yes, I love Chibi. Yes, absolutely. It already is changing dramatically. Yes, sorry. I got another comment here. Thank you for creating this initiative. And it's a very fast changing world now. It really is. So there's a couple of extra things I wanted to talk to you about. And then I'm going to have my next guest, which is Craig and Karen. And they're going to be talking about social media. But one of the things that I wanted to kind of discuss is what do you believe are the strongest skills to have nowadays? What are the strongest skills to have nowadays? And obviously, Bill was sharing that obviously becoming a great speaker is one of them. But also, I believe that, you know, writing a book, sharing your thoughts in a book is also a really important one, but obviously adapting to new technologies. What are the most important skills to have right now? So I'd love to hear your feedback on that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Andy. What are the most important skills? I'm waiting for some questions here. What are the most important skills to have right now in order to stand out? Because as we've all agreed, the world is changing. Everything. I mean, look at electric cars 6-7 years ago, non-existent now. Look at it. Look at the value of Tesla. Look at where we're going with 5G. Look at new technology in every single way. For me, it's fascinating. But what are the most important skills that you think we could have right now? I'd love to hear your feedback on that. I particularly believe that obviously one of them, and one of the most important things, is obviously making sure that you become or share your message as a speaker. So for us, creating this content and putting it out there is really important. And that's, again, it's the value of speaking in a platform like us, where you are becoming a partner. It's the brand association. Your talk goes into the Best You Online, goes into the Best You TV. We create articles with the Best You magazine. So it's all available for you. Are you posing some great questions? What is your advice? How to become a great speaker? I think one of the most important things to become a great speaker is to speak from the heart. You know, I mean, this talk in particular here for me today, if anything, was just to simply create an opportunity to provide you a little bit of awareness of what we're doing right now. A lot of the times when I talk about love, I talk about questions, I talk about the power of the mind. It's obviously based around a lot of my experiences and in falling in love, falling out of love, and my experience with and my knowledge of NLP. But I think one of the most important skills as a speaker, speaking from the heart, and obviously practicing. I've seen so many procrastinators, so many speakers that have a message, but for whatever reason, they choose not to take action. There's so many people that can teach you the skills. And, you know, although we have a lot of people that we work with, and Bill's one of them, Sonia Stribling, we've got a lot of people that can teach you that expertise. But that's why I'm doing this summit as well, is to provide you skills. So if there's anyone that I could help with, and there's something that I do as well, I'll be more than happy to do that. One of the things, and this is a great tip, I think, for me also, what becoming a speaker and sharing my message has helped me with is to write a book. A lot of the times when I was in the process of writing a book, I would share messages around the book. For example, in the question, I talk about the quality of your life depends in the quality of the questions you ask yourself. I was talking about resilience. I was talking about reinvention. I was talking about revolution. And a lot of these times people were coming back, and I would be able to kind of obviously get the feeling or sense in the room what was hitting home and what wasn't. So a lot of the times by sharing your message on stage, you get material for a book that obviously becomes more impactful, that hits closer to the heart. Adaptability, yes. Adapt to whatever life throws at you. It is difficult. I get it. Sometimes, you know, you're in your mid-50s or mid-40s, and adapting and changing careers can be difficult and can be challenging. But again, it's asking yourself those right quality questions. What can I do differently? How can I become a better speaker? What's the new career that really excites me? What would I like to do? How can I change the world? You know, how can I make a difference? Those are the quality questions. And as we know, if you ask yourself those questions, and you ask yourself those questions maybe at night, all of a sudden the next morning you have the answer. Unconsciously, we have so much more information than we're aware of, but we have to ask ourselves those questions. Every single explorer, every single adventurer, every single inventor, every person that's created anything, any business, any entrepreneur has always asked themselves a question first. How can I create a chair? How can I build this business? How can I create this idea? How can I climb that mountain? It starts in the mind. So we've got loads of answers here. Thank you so much. Public speaking skills, absolutely. I agree. Being heart-centered, absolutely love it. I was talking yesterday, and look, I'm not here to plug my book because I'm not, but I simply want to tell you that my book, this latest book, is completely off chart. It's called A Man Evolving, and it's confessions about passion, monogamy, and broken hearts. And it was in the process of me, as I said, falling in love, falling out of love. But it was really talking about vulnerability, so about talking about mortality, talking about saying and sharing the things that are important in life, which is obviously love. Listen, at the end of the day, in your deathbed, you're not going to be thinking how many pairs of shoes you have, who's going to be riding your motorcycle or your car. No, you're not. You're going to be thinking about who are those people that loved you, those people that were supported you, who did you love, and those beautiful memories. That's what you're going to be thinking about. So my focus has been a lot around being heart-centered now. Okay, we've got loads of questions coming here. Bernardo, you mentioned being resilient, speaking your message, adapting to change, persistent, work with people and technology. Yes, absolutely. You speak from the heart, be honest and congruent. Share your personal experience. Share how you failed and gotten back up. Okay, well, I think I've shared a little bit about it. In my mid-30s, what happened is I was rich. I thought I was wealthy. I had several houses, and yeah, I lost everything. It was very, very tough. But if anything, I just didn't really look at the problem. I was looking at where I was going, and where I was going came to me. I think kind of, if anything, and I'm not sure if you agree with me or not, but over the years, what has happened is that I started to identify opportunities. I think sometimes opportunities, I say this, are the sizes of petrol tankers. They're massive. They come to you. They knock at you. The universe, the world, God doesn't use Instagram or doesn't use WhatsApp. It can't message you, but it can send you messages via social media. It can send you someone recommending you a book. So these messages come to us. It's about, do we listen? Do we hear? Are we attentive? So if anything, when this happened, I was exploring, okay, well, this is happening to me now. Why? Why is it happening to me now? What am I need to learn from this? And all of a sudden I had this opportunity to become a seminar promoter. It was tough, but I did it. But no, look, I mean, we've all gone through that. I'm very grateful. Gratitude is really important to me. So I'm grateful. I'm in comparison to billions of people around the world who have no water, no electric, no limbs, who are blind, who haven't got a warm, hot, home, hot water. I'm very grateful. I'm very blessed. So whatever dark moments I've had, I've tried to put in perspective and really focus on kind of the outcome. So there's a little bit about my story and how it's happened a couple of times, and happened obviously with the pandemic as well. And here we are. Dr. Sonia is amazing. Dr. Sonia spoke at our first expo in London. She was one of the smaller stages, and it was just beautiful to see. In our last expo, she brought us around 19 speakers. She's a powerhouse. If any of you have seen or spoken or engaged with Dr. Sonia Stribling, I highly recommend her. Thanks for sharing your experience. Thank you. Denise, what if you cannot repeat the same message twice? Can you still be a good speaker? I don't understand. What if you cannot repeat the same message twice? I think so. I think, look, I mean, you look at someone like Bill. He was trying to do a PowerPoint presentation and didn't work. Doesn't matter. He doesn't need it. I think if anything, for me, for example, here, I didn't plan my talk here today. I simply wanted to talk about kind of the journey of the best you, a little bit of what we were doing. And as it's coming to me with the questions and your engagement, and I'm sharing a story here. And if anything, I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm simply being me. And if anything, as I said, again, the founder of the best you, it's important to me to be congruent. It's important for every single person that's in the personal development world to be congruent. I've met people, for example, I'll share this story very, very quickly. I won't say who it was, but I was at the Best You Expo in London, and someone was really, really miserable because one of the panels was set up wrong. All it was changing a panel, but she was really stressed about it. I mean, imagine that. We put the whole production together, and it wasn't really anything very serious at all. And I went to her stage, and she was the happy coach. And I remember I started laughing. And she said, well, what are you laughing about? And I said, well, you're the happy coach. Come on, smile. So be congruent. We all have to be heart-centered. We have to be congruent with our own message. And I call it the holistic approach. You have to exercise. You have to meditate. You have to take care of yourself. You have to be loving. You have to say loving things. You have to be kind. You have to work and try to be honest with everything that you do. I've failed. And not all my events have been a success, I'll tell you that. But what I will say is I've given it my 100%, and I've always been here to help anyone and to make it right. And if anything, the work and energy that we put into it, it comes from a place of love. I don't do anything without from a place of love. Okay, that was that. Let me see. Unconsciously, we're always changing. Think where we were born now. Yeah, I think also, I think unconsciously, we don't, as I said, we don't really tap into kind of that inner knowledge that we have through NLP. Did a lot of hypnosis. I know the power of hypnosis and how important it is. If you can work with an NLP practitioner, master practitioner, I highly recommend. I recommend that tomorrow you join and connect with David Snyder here tomorrow. But what I'm saying is that you really need to tap into your unconscious, and a lot of the times is by meditating and asking yourself questions, asking yourself empowering questions. Again, I said this before, the quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions you ask yourself. If you get up in the morning and you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, hey, how amazing do I look today? How great is my day going to be? That's a very different way, just looking at yourself and saying, oh my God, how ugly do I look? So everything is language. And unconsciously, obviously, it's really important to do that. Okay, we got a message here from, will you be at all the expos next year? Yeah, of course, yeah. Any expos that we do, I will be there. I will be at all of them. And right now, very excited. We've got obviously 7-8 months to promote. But if, as I said, if you're interested in getting involved in the expo, if you're interested in discussing any partnerships with us, I'd love to kind of connect with you and help. What books have inspired you and helped you? Any recommendations? Well, Bill was sharing Think and Grow Rich. It's obviously a book that I've also read multiple times. I'm actually in the process of reading it again. I've just started. But yeah, many books, to be honest. Obviously, for me, I'm an audio guy because I'm dyslexic. So Jim Rohn inspired me tremendously. Anything from Jim Rohn, and I love his voice as well. Les Brown. But yeah, Big Magic from Liz Gilbert was a book that I loved. It was a really good. She wrote the book Eat, Pray, Love. Change Your Life in 7 Days, Paul McKenna. And this Eat, Pray, Love. The Liz Gilbert Big Magic. I'll just share this story very quickly. And we're going to be waiting for my new guest. Is about this idea. I don't know how many of you read Big Magic, but the idea is, ideas are like entities. She was talking about the Greeks and the Romans and all that the people that created these amazing sculptures or these beautiful paintings, you know, they never thought that they were special. They just simply knew that they were channeling ideas. And it was coming to us, you know, from a higher purpose. Call it our soul, our spirit, call it, you know, reincarnation, call it God, whatever it is. And a lot of, there's beautiful stories saying, like, you know, kind of like poets, maybe they were in the garden, you know, and all of a sudden an idea comes over the hill and they got to start running into the house to write a note before the idea disappears. But there's this beautiful story that, you know, ideas are literally like entities. Ideas are like entities, and they come from wherever they come. They're looking for someone to create and make them a reality. So they come to you and they come through you, and they're in you for you to be able to bring it to life. And it's your obligation to bring it to life. How many of you have had an idea that all of a sudden, 2 years later, 1 year later, 3 years later, oh my God, I thought of that. And someone had invented it. Someone had created it. And in her book, she talks about a novel that she was writing that, for whatever reason, there was a story there, very specific story about a man and a woman, and lived in New York, blah, blah, blah. And she never got to finishing the book. And then she went to see a friend who was also an author. And they met, and then they separated. And then 5-6 months later, this friend sent her the manuscript of the book. And it was literally the same book, a few changes. And it was this beautiful idea that ideas, if you don't bring them to reality, they will go out and go out there. I'm a great believer. I don't know how many of you have written books. This last book for me, I knew I channeled a lot. There was a lot of information was coming through. I've got this system now where I just let it flow and I just write and type and just see what happens. And I got to say, not always, but 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 times, it was pretty good. Sometimes I really, oh my God, where did that come from? So it's from either knowledge or these ideas that have to become a reality. So you listening from home, you have a responsibility to bring these ideas to life. If you don't, someone else will. Okay. Well, thank you for doing very well reading this to dyslexia. Maybe it's time to let go of the identity I'm dyslexic and change. I have dyslexia diagnosis. Yes, listen, I think it's a blessing. So I'm just stating the fact that I can't read very well. A lot of the times I confuse words. So that's it. But I love it. Yes, I have a dyslexia diagnosis. I haven't been diagnosed, funny enough. It was because my kids, they were struggling in school, and when they got their report, I read it, and then I realized, oh my God, it's what I have. So anyway, so that's it. All right. Well, listen, last opportunity. I think you've already shared the survey, Genesis. If you haven't, please make sure you do, or put it out there again just to find out what people do, what people are interested in. Please tap your email addresses in there if you want us to contact you. If not, please go to thebestyouexpo.com, and I'll share the page very quickly. I think I have it live. I will try and share that extra camera and share screen. Okay. And there you go. Okay. So that's thebestyouexpo.com. Oops. Sorry. So thebestyouexpo.com. And if you go here, you'll see the different places. And then a lot of you obviously have registered here already. So you'll be familiar with the page. Speak, exhibit, sponsor. There's decks for each of them. There's also live tickets and free tickets for Las Vegas right now. For London, we haven't got them ready for London, but just for Las Vegas. Free tickets will be for a very limited time only, ladies and gentlemen. People have to pay. And then obviously the online tickets will also be paid. A very small amount, but it will. And then there's obviously information here on previous speakers. If you go to the bottom of the page, you can see our programs. You can see the different speakers for 2019, 2018, 2018. So there's a bit of story there, and obviously loads of photos from our happy speakers and a lot of people that we've worked with over the years. So I'm going to play a very quick commercial. Is there anyone, sorry, there's just another question. Bernardo, what do you recommend to start to write our first book? What do you recommend to start to write our first book? Well, I think if anything, kind of what is it you're passionate about? What is it you love? What bugs you? What out there is doesn't seem right? Maybe it's a novel, maybe it's a love story. I don't know. But what I do recommend you do is come into a system of simply writing every day. I used to have an author day. So Friday was an author day. I used to dress in a certain code or wear certain clothes. I used to go to a certain space or place to write, but I was in my writing mode. A lot of the times I find a lot of inspiration when I fly. I don't know why. So I would just simply sit down and write, but just let it flow, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Put loads of notes together. And then it's very simple to come and create a structure. Lots of information out there on how you can give it the good structure. But let me just say to you, please, Toastmaster Miriam, get that book out. Yesterday, Ken Rochen was here and he was talking about how he helps people, but get that book out. The world needs it. Okay. What is the minimum age to attend the expo? They can come in a pram. If you've got a baby and they're 6 or 9 months old, you can bring them in the pram. No, there's no limit on ages. I've loved it. We've had so many kids speaking at the expo. I've had 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds speaking at the Best Youth Expo. We had the Best Youth Expo room. So no, we welcome anyone and everyone. Absolutely. Is there any value in writing an ebook? I think so. Absolutely. It really is a calling card. I would recommend that you print on demand now. Do your ebook, but then do print on demand. Send some physical books. It's a calling card. Yes, it might cost you £2 or $2 or $3 to print, but who cares? It opens doors. It makes you an authority. So yes, absolutely. Thousands of books out there, but it shouldn't stop you writing it, and it shouldn't stop writing you in whatever format you want. Audio, I've got to get down to recording my audiobook. I've recorded a few, but I haven't recorded this latest book. I recommend that you record an audiobook. If you've got a good voice, and if you haven't even, doesn't matter, do it. Do an audiobook too. Denise, thank you so much. Very kind words. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful. Listen, thank you for paying attention here. I think I've been blabbing on and talking a little bit about everything. So I hope I didn't disappoint you. I hope that I give you some great tips. I simply want to emphasize the fact that Bernardo Moya, the Best You Expo, the brand, we're here to help and assist individuals that have a message, people that want to make the world a better place. And in any way, from small individuals that want to start speaking to brands that want to explore about doing an event within our events, or want to explore partnerships and exploring us working together. So I'm going to be playing a very quick commercial, and then we're going to be back with my next guest. I'm very excited. Thank you so much. Take care. Lots of love. May the best be with you. See you soon.
The Best You Expo has a history of connecting inspirational speakers, leaders, with those looking at becoming the best version of themselves. Previous speakers like Dave Asprey, Jim Quick, Marisa Peer, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Brian Rose, Paul McKenna, Barbara De Angelis, Marie Diamond, Dr. John DeMartini, Baroness Michelle Marr, and many more. The Best You Expo has promoted over 1,000 speakers and has been attended by over 100,000 people. International events have been held in the UK and in California, and the Best You Expo will be coming back in 2024 to Las Vegas, bigger, bolder. The Best You Expo will also be streaming on the Best You TV, and this event is for anyone and everyone that wants to commit, reach, and inspire. So act now. Get involved. For more information, go to www.thebestyouexpo.com.
The Best You is leading the way in the industry of personal and professional growth. Through our magazine, expos, e-learning, TV, club, and awards, The Best You's objective is to help people achieve their dreams, to do more, to be more, to live a life without limits. Join us if you believe in helping and inspiring others, in changing the world, in making it a more just and fair place through education and inspiration. Our goal: everyone, everywhere, now. If you are interested in making a difference, working, partnering, volunteering, supporting, or even licensing the best you, let's talk. Let's work together and make the world a better place.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring in my next speaker. I just want to remind you, because today is a great day. So if you're here today, I highly recommend you join us tomorrow, because I think it's a really powerful day. Every day's been powerful, but tomorrow's amazing. Jessica Abo, she's going to be talking at 2 p.m. tomorrow. From unknown to newsworthy, how to get press and master the media. Jessica's amazing. She got me a fantastic piece in Entrepreneur magazine. A great piece. Loved it. One of the best interviews I've had ever. So, but she is a media expert. She is someone that has been in the media for a long time and now is helping speakers, coaches, trainers, authors, entrepreneurs to build their brands and to master media. David Snyder. I worked with a lot of NLP experts over the year, without doubt. David Snyder is a master in NLP. He has so many courses, so many ways of helping you to break limiting beliefs, to become a better communicator, covert language, you name it. But tomorrow he's going to be talking about the ultimate sales formula, how to sell anything to anyone, anytime, anywhere. And then Jen Duplessis at 4 p.m. Love Jen. She's spoken at quite a few of our events. She is a beautiful, beautiful lady who has phenomenal expertise. She's going to be talking about entrepreneurial leadership, letting go to grow. So that's going to be her. I'm going to be bringing in on stage very, very soon, and he's already here. I'm going to bring Craig Handley. So Craig is a songwriter and musician, writing for new artists, up-and-coming superstars, and for Sync, TV and film. When he's not writing hits, he's the best-selling author of A Hired to Quit, Inspired to Stay. And when he gets bored in the evenings, he serves as the VCMO for a small collection of companies, the acting CMO for Voight.com, and the CEO of his multi-million-dollar call center Listen Trust, which was named #1 business products for service 27 all in Inc. magazine and the 500 list. So he's coming also with Karen Camo, and she is, she's very passionate about improving people's lives and business through creativity and innovation. Karen believes that the quest of knowledge and self-growth is never ending. So she's actively aims to become the best version of herself for her family and for those under her expert guidance. Karen and Craig, they're partners, and she's an executive engagement specialist and online marketing strategist. Karen makes use of her talents and expertise at Social Close, where ideas come to life. They helped us and supported us. They were one of our partners at the Best You Expo. And I've got to say, they did an absolutely fantastic job. They've got a great team. So what Craig and Karen are going to be talking about today is something that is of great value, because a lot of us use social media. But how do you use social media to scale, grow, engage, and sell? And that's what they're going to be talking. Now, I've got to tell you something before I invite Craig on. He is bigger than life, okay? This man is just like, he's always busy, but he is just a complete breath of fresh air. He's got this beautiful, lovely energy, and it's just very engaging. Everyone that meets Craig, or everyone that knows him, just absolutely loves him. Craig, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. They either love me or hate me, right?
No. I haven't met anyone that hates you. You're just a great man, great soul, and full of love.
Yeah, I think that the matrix in life, I turned 52 not that long ago, which I always hate to say that. I still like to pretend I'm like 34, but I know I'm not. But I think maybe 3 years ago, I kind of figured out that, the secret in life is just to focus on other people's goals and to help them with their goals without really, most people think about that and then they think, well, I'm going to help them, but only if it does something for me. What am I going to get out of this? And I just realized that the secret is to not think about what I get out of it and just help people, create relationships. And I have seen the return on these relationships come back 3 years later, because there was no fit in business, but I have a passion for music, or, I have a passion for health, or whatever it is. And I've seen people that I've helped come back into my life 2 years later and just bring an opportunity to me that's bigger than life. And so it's been really interesting kind of figuring things out as I've aged, and it helped a lot of people. And in some point in my life, I did have the, hey, let me help people, but only if there's something in it for me mentality, because I thought my time was so important. And I think as you get older, you learn that the journey in life is really to be on a journey to nowhere. My goal is now to be a nobody. I want to do big things, but I don't need to be anybody special.
No, I get it. And a lot of the times, kind of when we put ourselves in these situations to put these events together, say, oh my God, why do we do this? Well, we do it for the higher good, the higher purpose of helping others and making sure that others can really, share their message, share their wisdom, and be able to kind of give them an opportunity and a platform for them to change the world. So, kind of we do it. So I get it. Being unselfish. I
think you and I have that same heart, my brother. I think we have that same heart and goals. To one of the reasons why I love you is just because I know you're of the same mindset. We've both had enough success so that our confidence, we don't need someone to pat us on the back and say, hey, you do a good job, although I still appreciate it. I still love the praise, but I don't need it anymore, because I've already had plenty of success and done some really, I've done so many cool things. And that's great. But now I want to help others enjoy that same success, which is why we wanted to join you today and, and talk about some things that it's funny, because the stuff we're talking about, it was just, I've got 30 plus years of marketing. I started in the infomercial space. I wrote infomercials. I did TV ads. I've done print ads. I've done digital media. I've done social media. And I just, as I, learned about life, I own a bunch of businesses, but I've always wanted to be a musician and write music. So as I was retiring from my businesses, I was trying to rebrand as Craig Hanley, the artist and songwriter and entrepreneur. And so we started doing some things, and it was for me. It wasn't a business that we were trying to build. It was, how do I help myself? And all these things turned into strategies that have helped people in their own career, in their own life, launch best-selling books or launch documentaries. We've helped, a bunch of companies, I guess maybe a half dozen, not a ton yet, but get into the top 5 on Apple iTunes with social media marketing. Over 100 best-selling books. We've been responsible for participating with authors. And we're now launching Song Launch to help, because I wrote a bunch of great music. So I'm like, well, it's great to have a great music, but if nobody hears it, does it exist? It's like if a tree falls in the woods, does it make any sound? Well, it doesn't matter if I wrote 1,000 songs if nobody hears them. So I had to build a marketing plan. And so now we're doing Song Launch, and we're testing with artists now. And we've done it for movies and books, so I don't think we're going to have any problem helping artists move the needle on creating authentic relationships that help them grow and brand themselves as the singer-songwriter that they want to be. So everything happens for a reason, and the coolest thing is none of this was planned.
That is the coolest thing. So I think Karen's here. We just need to turn the camera on, and we'll let her in. There she is. Hello, Karen. How are you?
Hello, Bernardo. Hello, everybody.
Very good. Well, guys, listen, the floor is yours. So make sure, ask any questions, and we'll be sharing them here, or anything you want to share, any tips, any ideas. But the floor is yours. Thank you so much for both being here, and I can't wait to hear. Thank you.
Thanks for the invite. Craig, you go first.
Well, I did a little bit of an intro too, and I talked about what we're doing. And I have a book. It's called Hired to Quit, Inspired to Stay. And a lot of the things that, that we started doing were, I personally was launching this book and I didn't know what to do. So I just started direct messaging people through all of my platforms. I called it digital door to door. And then I created a funny video that had some cool content. And as we kind of stumbled through this, I made a list of the things I did well and the things that didn't work. And then I made a list of all the things I wish I did because I knew they'd work. I was confident. I was excited. And then I said, here, let's just share this with some people. And a friend of mine called one day as we were doing the Craig Handley brand. And he said, hey, I need 3,000 books in 3 days to make the New York Times bestseller list, or one of those bestsellers, Wall Street Journal, USA Today. And he said, can you help? I know you've done it for yourself. And I said, I don't know. We can try. And that was kind of the start of something special. We ended up we ended up getting more than 3,000 book sales, helped to make that list. And it was just through some of the crazy little tips. And so I thought, when Bernardo asked if we wanted to come on, I said, we've grown this agency now. It's been 2.5 years, probably, Karen. Is that about right? 2 years?
Yeah.
And our team's grown, and the campaigns have grown, and the things that we've done have grown. And I said, boy, wouldn't it be great to just come on and share with everybody all the things that we're doing that are making an impact for others. Just so you guys know, we have a process. We do an audit. I used to be a consultant that would come in and get 10 grand to sit down with you for a day, but not everybody had the ability to execute on some of the crazy ideas that I had. And so what we try to do for people is we want to help 1 billion people. Maybe that's a big goal, but the numbers just keep coming in, and we just keep trying to help. So we do an audit and a strategy for people, and we try to make sure our audits are done for free. Strategies, sometimes we'll charge like a $200 or some small fee. It's nothing big, but we try to help people. And if somebody wanted to hire our company, they can, but our strategies are pretty good so that a lot of you can just do these things on your own until you grow it to a point where you want to outsource it. And maybe you want to outsource it with social clothes, or maybe you want to outsource it with your nephew or your niece. It doesn't matter. All we want to do is help. And hopefully that message comes across, that we're not trying to sell anything. Our intention is pure, heartfelt. All we want to do is help. So if you guys have questions, by all means ask, and we're going to try to just share everything that we've been doing that is making an impact. At the end of the day, it's creating amazing content and engaging with that content. And that's kind of, that's the big secret. Most people don't do either very well. Sometimes they're really good at content creation, but then they don't respond and critique and get it out there and send it to people and make sure they're getting engagement around it. Or some people are good at engaging, but they don't have any great content, So it's very rare that you see somebody doing everything right. Part of the reason that this is so cool, as a guy who's done direct response TV, 20 years ago, I can't believe I'm saying that, 20 years ago, you needed 15 to 20 impressions for someone to become a customer. Today, since the pandemic, politics, Bitcoin, FTX, NFTs, nobody knows what to believe, right? Everybody is lacking in trust. And so it takes 50 to 100 impressions with your brand in order for someone to become a customer. So if you're buying media to build a brand, you have two choices. Buy more media, which means your cost of acquisition goes way up, or slow down to speed up, right? Contrast is everywhere in our lives, and contrast to me equals success. There's always the polar opposites. If it's good, it's also bad, right? It's always there. With social media, if you slow down and you build out amazing content and you post it, and it's different content for LinkedIn, it's different for Instagram, it's different for TikTok, and you can cross-pollinate some of it, but you want to be careful as to what you're presenting on each platform, because each platform's algorithms are different. And I'm going to let Karen get more into that, but you can post, let's say you create 45 different pieces of content that are all engaging, not designed to sell necessarily, but designed to engage. Well, once you have that content, if you buy one ad, you can now get 50 to 100 impressions. Now, the secret is you can't give up too soon. We don't see a lot of revenue generation for the first 90 days. That's awareness for most people, unless you've already got 1 million followers. Some people think they're going to start with social media and they've got 4,000 followers and they think they're going to start generating revenue just like this. it's a strategy. It's not a overnight solution, right? It's a strategy. And your first 90 days are really more of an awareness process than a selling process. And so think of it as a foundation to building a successful hotel, right? You don't want to just build a hotel on the ground because it'll fall over. You want to dig the foundation almost as deep as you're going to build the tower. And so for us, we look at social media as a foundation for your success, building out the content, creating authentic customers who really love your brand. Who are the ones who are going to represent you the way that bikers represent Harley Davidson, right? Who are those people? And then we try to put them into a folder as your affiliate team or your street team, and we try to engage with them. And we try to make sure that when you do post content, it's shared widely around what you're doing. And every month, you can basically engage with over 10,000 people a month on all your platforms. The number of people that reply, 20 to 40% based on the content you're posting. But that means that you can have close to 4,000 to 6,000 conversations a month with customers that are interested in your brand purely from social media content creation, posting, and communicating. And so our secrets aren't really that amazing. I think the amazing thing about our secrets are that we know how to create content that engages, and then we have a big team that knows how to do the engagement and the digital communication. But anyway, didn't really introduce this the way I normally do, Karen, but I wanted to make sure that I kind of gave a little bit of an introduction, and I'll let you talk a little bit now and tell your story.
Sure. So more than the story, I would like to share with you the topic of this workshop that we put together. It's how to scale, grow, engage, and sell. Right? There are too many different things involved in scaling. It's only like one single thing you have to work on. There's another different thing about growing your accounts, your social media, but not just your social media, but your whole digital strategy. So let me share with you. Give me 1 second, please. Genesis, I don't know if you can just send me a message on the private chat and let me know if I'm sharing my screen right. I want to make sure I'm sharing the presentation here with you guys.
I'll look real quick, Karen, on my phone.
All right. Thank you.
I just wanted to jump in. The presentation is not there at the moment.
Okay.
So if you wanted to, we can upload it. Just need to share it with us.
Okay.
As a PDF, and we can put it. But then we would need to run the slides with you.
Yeah, I think we thought we could just hit the present button and we could present.
Yeah, I haven't done it as a guest. So run the slides with you.
I can explain it. It's okay. No problem. All right. So I'm gonna see them anyways, just for me not to. I'm gonna share with you basically there's something that is called marketing funnel, right? For those, I don't know what has been your marketing journey so far, right? If you've been trying on your social media for so long, just posting, creating content, changing your shirts, finding yourself in the camera, just talking to the camera. Let me tell you, Craig just mentioned something. This is not something that it's so complicated, but it is. It's an art, right? Like creating content and creating this awareness, which is your top of the funnel, the people that are going to see you, they really want to know who you are and what you do. And we live in a social media era where everybody has access to a camera, but that doesn't mean that having a camera is going to make you create great content and build this trust that Craig was talking about. So if you really want to grow and scale your social media platforms, the number one thing I would say would be, first, learn about your brand, right? Know what you want to say, understand your voice, understand your audience, understand your community, understand their pain points. Most of the time, we're speaking to the camera because we think we have a lot of great things to say. We have a lot of amazing things to share. That's great. But most of the time, it's like you're thinking me, instead of really thinking my audience, my community, the people that are listening, and the value that I'm bringing to the table. So, in order for you to do that and to have a very clear idea on what is exactly that you're bringing to the table and to all these different, devices, because they don't only see you on social media with their phones. Some people they use their web. Some people they might see you on their TV if you're using YouTube. So it depends. So the number one thing I would say is, in order for you to create awareness, even before you ask people to know you, you need to know about yourself, your brand. If you're building your personal brand, you really need to work on understanding your voice, right? That voice that is going to connect with your community. Once you have figured it out, and honestly, like most of the time, that's the most difficult thing for our clients, even for companies. They really don't take the time to sit down and understand their and that is one of the biggest mistakes, that is not allowing you to engage and grow your social media. It's because you don't have a very clear vision of those 1,000 people that are seeing you through their screens, and what's the message that you want to convey on a daily basis. So if you don't have that clear, it's going to be very difficult for people to really connect with you. So understanding your brand is number one. Now, another thing that I want to add to that, to creating content, right, which is like the basis of creating awareness, it's people are craving for real human interaction. So yes, you can have this amazing pictures of your product. Can have this amazing photo shoot with this great, photographer from New York, but they really want to see the real you. They want to see, why am I following this person, right? So I wanted I really want you to think about those different things that I'm mentioning, right? One, my one question for you would be, do you really understand your brand? I'm not talking about your elevator pitch. I'm not talking about what is it that you're sharing with your friends about who you are and what you want to do. It's like, do you really have a clear vision of who you are, what you want to do, your why that makes everybody cry, and who are you serving with your brand? So the second thing is that I want you to ask yourself today is, am I creating content for myself, or I'm creating content to serve others and to really come across in the camera? Because energy goes through the camera. Like, we've been filming a lot of people, and it's amazing how you can see when they film themselves and they're really like nervous. Those videos, they don't go viral. So when they're really excited, when they are in we call their zone, right? They're really excited. That energy, it really transfers. Like, it goes beyond. Like, it goes all over the world with that energy. So that would be my number two question. Why are you really creating content? Is it for yourself or for others, and to serve others? Um, the second thing is that I want to talk about, in order for you to grow, scale, engage, because they all go together, right? The more you engage and the more you build community, you're going to be able to sell. I'm going to share the story, Craig, about this. So we've had a lot of clients, and I'm really saying a lot because we've come across a lot of people that they have had millions of followers, hundreds and thousands of followers. And when we look at the back end of their social media, they're bots, they're fake, they're not real. There was just a number on social media. And you don't want to become that. Nowadays, people like really engage and follow and buy from those that are really putting themselves out there, and not just going on social media for the numbers. Social media, it's not a numbers game anymore. That's so old school, I would call it, to say that you need to have X number of followers to be X person, it's not real, because we can all see your engagement. We can all see that you can have 1 million followers, but how about you only have, how come, right? You have 1 million followers and there's only 3 comments, 3 people, 10 people saying hi, 3 people engaging with your content. It's very easy to really see if you are a brand that has real followers nowadays. There's a lot of different platforms that can give us, AI can give us all the details of the back end of your social media. So the second thing I would like to share with you is, and or even remind you, create a community. Even if that person, like the word influencer, right? You really want to make an influence in this world for, doing some good, but also that is going to come back to you with engagement and more sales. So it's important that you really, really start building that community. So Craig, I don't know if you want to share a little bit about how we, or you, and we've been working on building communities online, with interactions and seeing people as people, not humans, not just, a dollar sign or a euro sign in their faces.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is based on the platform too. So you don't the same messaging you use on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's more of a business to business channel. If you're trying to put cute content out, that's not where it goes, right? So what we try to do is look at almost like we're a movie director building scripts and a process for each different type of platform. So if you're trying to launch a movie or a book or a song on TikTok, there's a series of videos you want to create that are different from the ones on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the business side of it. And so the interview on LinkedIn that you post is much different from the video that you put on TikTok where you're showing your mom and dad your book, or, you're sharing your documentary with friends, or, you guys have all seen these things like on Upworthy or, different Worth feed, or just all these amazing stories of good things happening. People both want to root for you and against you, right? And so you have to learn how to, everything that you do is psychology, and when you're selling something, it's all psychology. It's contrast, it's emotional visuals, it's how do you say something in a way that allows people to have visuals in their head. The reason that there are so many people who want to direct movies and so few people that do is because it's not easy to put that type of stuff into your brain and to come up with both the creative and the analytical execution around it. And so that's a lot of the reason why when we try to put together these strategies, our LinkedIn strategy looks nothing at all like our Instagram or our Facebook strategy. Our Facebook strategy is a lot of groups based. So when we're trying to gain followers and create authentic relationships in Facebook, we try to post content that is relevant to the group, but we also know how to promote that content using other people. And so a lot of times we'll have our employees that go in and they're also in these groups and they're also mothers, or they also have kids, or it depends on what your genre is. But we have people go in and they talk about, hey, have you read this new book? It's XYZ, or have you tried this new product? And then somebody else, maybe it's someone within the group replies, but sometimes it's our own team that creates I guess you can call it a funnel of sorts, where we're trying to create awareness of the brand. I want some of these messages to create a click. When I create a click, I want someone to feel like they just fell down Alice in Wonderland's rabbit hole. And I want them to continue to peruse data and content that you've pushed out there. Because again, our only goal, how do you get somebody to see your content 50 plus times? Again, feel free to spend $100,000 on your Facebook strategy or your Google strategy. I want you to slow down so that we can do the same damage with 50,000 that you're doing with 100 today. Or if you're spending 50, let's bring it down to 20, and let's do the same acquisition cost. But it's going to take time, right? You either have to spend money or give up a little bit of time. It's always been the same battle, time or money. And so if you want to ramp fast, by all means, let's put a spend out there and understand that over 90 to 120 days, what you're spending, your cost of acquisition will come down considerably month over month. So in month one, maybe you're paying $35 an acquisition. Month two, $33. Month three, you're down to now $29 per acquisition. Month four, $27. Month five, $25. We have customers, we have campaigns we've had for over a year, and we're having almost 100,000 conversations per month. Zig Ziglar said you could tie a notepad to a dog's tail. I think maybe he said ass, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that. But and at some point, somebody will buy your products. And we're trying to do a little bit more than tie a notepad to somebody's butt. We're making sure that we're engaging and creating content that people go, oh, well, that's cute. That's funny. Maybe they share it, because they're your fans. And then it just creates this ongoing wheel of, I always equate marketing kind of like, no matter what you're doing, you're kind of holding a glass under a waterfall. It's great that you're filling your cup, but what about the rest of the water? So social media picks up the rest of that water and allows some of those people to engage. If you're getting one sale today, having a strong social media plan will get you 2 to 3 more customers over the next 6 months from media you've already spent, media you've already invested in. So I think that's what you want me to cover a little bit of, Karen. I mean, I didn't get into specifics, and I know one of our plans was to show some specific data, but I thought we'd just be clicking the present button and it'd pop up. So we're creating emotional visuals with our speech.
Yeah, definitely. Commenting, answering. I think everybody's saying that, right? Like, just answer to your comments. There's a strategy when you're answering your comments. Don't say thank you with an emoji. Don't say thanks for sharing. Don't say, you can always answer with a question, right? You can say, if they say, oh, that's great. You can always ask, really? What's great about it? Please tell me more. Share something positive for me today, for me today. Or you can just always engage with them in a way. Every single person that takes the time to make a comment, it's an opportunity for you to increase your social media, grow your followers, scale it, and sell more. And I'm going to tell you why, because really, really, social media has the word social for a reason. We've forgotten that being social, it's the right thing to do. You really need to start networking, call it that way if you want, with every single person that is taking the time to leave a comment. So there is this, circle of influence. So if you go to the social media of your company or your personal social media, you will see the people that are making a comment. They are your friends, your family, and probably some strangers just saying, hey, I send you a DM. I want to sell something. We'll use that, right? Just say something nice, ask a question, interact with them. That's going to allow you to create more engagement. It's going to allow you to create your community. And you're also going to tell the algorithm, hey, you know what? People are commenting on this. So that means that what I'm posting, it's interesting. They like it. So it's going to push your content to the next level. So it's really, really, and if you can tell me, Karen, I don't have all these ideas by myself. Use AI, use ChatGPT and say, someone said this, right? Just create that prompt. Someone said this in one of my Instagram comments. How do I respond, right, to this comment in a positive way, ask you a question. And it's going to give you everything that you need for each one of them. You can spend only 1 hour a day answering your comments, answering your DMs. We've gone through accounts where they have hundreds of people that they haven't responded to on LinkedIn. Even if they're sending you spam, that it's affecting your algorithm. You really need to respond to every single one of those comments, or at least, say thank you, right? Thanks for sending me this spam. I've done that sometimes, and that helps because, at least you're being nice, but also you're playing with your algorithm. Now, that takes me to the third one. Choose your platforms right. Every platform has a demographic. So you really need to know your platform, and you really need to know your product or your service in order for you to target the audience right. It's funny how yesterday, I'm going to give you an example. I was having this conversation with this person saying, I hate TikTok. I don't like TikTok. I would never do TikTok. But my audience, it's 20 to 50-year-old moms. And I was like, you know where they're taking their recipes from? From Facebook, from Instagram, and from TikTok. Like, there's a lot of creators that are baking, a lot of creators that are teaching you how to cook, you really need to find the niche, right? And really understanding the demographic and finding the niche on the platform, instead of just doing and repurposing and creating content and doing this and that and posting videos on LinkedIn when that's wrong, right? You first need to understand your audience. Once you understand your audience, you decide what's the best platform that it's going to target that audience and that demographic. Once you know who's there and who are you targeting to, you're going to go and you're going to create content based on that. So you're not going to use the same reels and the same videos you're posting on Instagram or Facebook reels to LinkedIn. Don't you ever do that, because every platform has its own algorithm. So LinkedIn, it's an SEO platform that it's text based, that doesn't support video. So you really need to know that you cannot be using your social media as you think it's great, right? You really need to learn. If you were gonna take the leap of faith of doing this by yourself and really putting all your energy, I really don't want you to get burned out. You really need to understand, again, your brand, your audience, and your platform. Once you have those three and you have made the decision of, okay, this is the right platform for me, again, based on my audience and my demographic, then really understand what's the best content for that platform. Don't assume every platform is the same, because it's not. So if you're targeting for a product or for a service, is this exactly the same thing? So once you're creating content, it's not about the content, it's how do you actually maximize that piece of content, and how you really understand your content to be able to repurpose it. Okay, so again, those are very important things. Demographic, it's important. You really don't need much. You can always go Google and just type, right? TikTok's demographic 2023, LinkedIn demographic 2024, or like expected, right? Like, who's going to be there next year? Because I really want to know if it's going to stay the projections of that platform. So that is something that I really want to invite you to do. If right now you're posting content, you're working on your social media, you have a social media team, take a moment and ask yourself those questions, because posting and ghosting is the worst thing you can do to yourself. Going and post because someone told you, hey, you know what, post 55 reels a day and post all of this, and then you're really not answering comments the right way, not sending DMs, responding to your DMs, not interacting with the people on your platform, not going to groups on Facebook, then you're really doing a very strong harm to your platform. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the algorithm understands every time you're posting something that is not getting likes, it's not getting views, you're going to see it. The less visibility is going to get you. So you need to be smart every time you're posting. Now, I know that maybe you think, okay, I'm not an expert, I don't have the time. There's a lot of ways, of course, to do social media. And yesterday, Craig, I don't know if you saw what I posted on my social media. I saw a building, and there was a building and said, hey, ChatGPT, finish this building for me. There are different things that you can do with AI, but you can't do it all. Like you can ask them to give you a calendar and scripts, yes, but you really need to use your knowledge in order for you to use it right. So I want you to see AI and technology as Home Depot, right? Home Depot is full of tools, but you need to know how to use them, and you need to know if it's a right tool for you. It's not that everything that it's there it's going to be right for your um, right for your audience. It can give you a lot of ideas, and that's amazing. Please use them, right? But still, there's a lot of opportunity for you to explore your creativity. Platforms today, please, if you're not following Adam Mosseri, which is the CEO of Instagram, he's always sharing how the platform works. You don't really need social media gurus. He is showing up every Sunday, answering questions, creating reels to educate the Instagram meta audience. So you can learn directly from the source. You really don't need a lot of social media gurus. You can get it from the source. And you just have to follow the rules. There's guidelines, there's good practices. And once you have that, once you do it, you will see your social media scaling, growing, engaging, and selling. Okay, because also you don't want to get your account banned or shadow banned or not getting the engagement. And definitely in 2023 and 2024, content is king. So creating content is something you should be doing. Gary Vaynerchuk says, don't create content, just document your life to the point that people feel like they're in it. If you're a personal brand, and if you're a company, you're seeing what companies are doing. They're showing this human side of their company, their corporate culture, to bring more people, eyeballs, so they can see they are the right company to go to. So that was another of the topics that I wanted to point out, right? The choosing the right platforms is important. Creating engaging content, it's not the same for everybody, but there is a 532 rule. You can Google it. It's 532 social media rule. That rule explains very clear how you can really create content. And part of it, even if you don't like it, it's going to be creator research. You need to make research and you need to learn about your audience, what's trending, what's new, what are they talking about. So you can do your research, with Google, or you can always go to your favorite friend, ChatGPT, that is going to help you, summarize all the information. But you need to do the research first, and then you make the decisions of what's best for your brand. So another one that I wanted to share is, how do we measure success on social media? This is really important topic, Craig, because obviously this is something that we've been working really hard in educating people about social media. Social media, it's where you're going to get the attention, where you're going to get the impressions, where you're going to get all the visibility. But you really need to have systems in place, a good website, a good lead magnet, a good marketing funnel in place, in order for you to be able to track every single person that it's seeing you, how you're actually going to make them come to your website. So I see a lot of people still using link trees, still using like I don't know, like this different tools where you add your links and they'll send you to that link, like where you store all your links. Do this. If you have a website tomorrow, just do your website slash links and send all the traffic to your website. Why are you sending the traffic to other people's websites? Send it to yours. That's going to help your SEO. So just do your website slash links. So exactly what others are doing, you can do it too. You really don't need to be giving all those clicks to other sources, because of course they are by getting your traffic. They're like, thank you, I told you I'm free, but the truth is, thanks for all this traffic I'm getting for free with all your demographic and all your information. So if I could just share something with you regarding your how to measure your success, work on your KPI. First, understand your brand and your goals, 6 months, a year, KPIs, and do everything that is going to take you to that and the direction to get to those goals. Because if you don't have a goal, goals is like going in the car, even for social media, for anything else, it's like going in the car without a GPS, not knowing where you're going. And believe me, you're going to get frustrated and you're going to be one of those people saying, social media doesn't work. I tried and it doesn't work. So, what do you think about that, Craig? Have you ever said something like this? Have you ever heard something like that?
I have a lot. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people say doesn't work for me or whatever, but it's just allowing people to see the authenticity of who you are and what you're trying to do. And Karen said something really important. Um, a lot of Web3 companies are starting to come out. And one of the big advantages are, of course, everybody who's involved in Web3, at some point, every human being will have their own ID. And if somebody markets to you, you should get paid something, whether you buy something or not, if people are using your data to sell. And so there's a lot of companies that are really trying to approach the world with integrity. I've been marketing for about 3 years with a company called Viewit, Veuit. I'm business partners with Cuba Gooding Jr. I think most people probably know Cuba. Mars Callahan, who was in Pool Hall Junkies, who's director. And also Jonathan Sanger, who did the Mission Impossible movies, Elephant Man, things like that. Well, they own both a streaming and influencer platform. The whole point around all of those things are when you have your own TV channel, if you had your own Netflix channel, you own all your data. When you market on YouTube, YouTube owns all that data. When you market on LinkedIn, LinkedIn owns that data. When you market on Instagram, and I could go on and on. The data is what separates great companies from good companies, owning your customer list and having people who are interested in your brand. So when you're doing things, so we'll use social media. Let's say it's a whiskey brand. I'll give you an example. Post cool content around people supporting a whiskey brand, but then when people like your video, the way that you would engage, I'm putting my thumb in the screen here someplace, there it is. The way you would engage in that, hey, thanks for liking our video. If you're a whiskey lover, follow us. We have some great things that we like to post, great events, great recipes, things like that. Once they follow you, your next funnel might be, thanks for following us. We created a PDF and we would love to send it for free. And it's 100 of the best recipes that we've ever used or ever tasted with whiskey. It doesn't have to be your whiskey, right? You're trying to help people. Your focus isn't on selling your whiskey. It's how do you enhance another person's life. However, if you're smart, you say, just put in your name, your phone, and your email, and we'll send you this free 100 recipe book. Another week later, or 2 weeks later, hey, Karen, hey, I'm glad you got our book. Did you try any of the recipes? Nope, not yet. Let me tell you, on page 68 is a recipe for, it's one of the best. Now, you don't have to use our whiskey, but I wanted to let you know that based on where you're located, we've got our whiskey in your liquor store just down the road. And I, you know what I want to do? If you take it and you put maybe a testimonial together for us, I'm going to send you a $5 rebate right in the mail so you can try it for less, or some sort of action-oriented thing that drives traffic. There's such a thing on Facebook called challenge offers. I have a client that had a air fryer, and so we set up a campaign on Facebook where we spent $50,000, but our ad wasn't to sell a air fryer. Our ad was, if you're interested in learning how to use an air fryer to cook 5 easy meals for under $5 in under 5 minutes, just join our channel. We're going to be doing videos with celebrity chefs every day. We're going to do this for 2 weeks. It's going to start on X day. And so we put, for 50 grand, we got over 100,000 people into our Facebook group. We then did the recipes and we showed people how to use an air fryer, but we used our air fryer, right? Our specific air fryer. And then we put a coupon code in to buy our air fryer for 30% off or 20% off, whatever it was. And we sold 30,000 air fryers at $150 a piece. So 50,000 created over 3 million in revenue. And it was all done on, I mean, it's a combination of marketing and social media. You know, it's that awareness that you want to push out there. And awareness creates engagement. Engagement can create commerce. Yeah, do you have to read ClickFunnels and understand how funnels work and understand how other things work? You do. That's why sometimes it's better to hire an agency than do it in-house, because they know all those other ancillary tricks and tips. And I mean, Karen does things with clients where she'll post a video at 3x speed and she gets 600% increase in views. When you get a 600% increase in views, the algorithm thinks something might be viral, so they start showing it to friends of friends. There's another strategy you could look up called dollar a day media, and you just Google it, dollar a day media. There's a guy named Dennis Yu, and he was one of the guys who helped invent the search engine with Mark Cuban for Yahoo way back when. He shares this technique on Google for free, and the idea is how to use social media with a media spend of $1 a day to increase your followers with authentic followers. And the strategy is you post a picture with you, with whomever, but you target for $1 a day, you target their followers. And so that dollar, if they've got 1 million followers, 1 million people see your post, and there's a potential for around 20 to 30% of those people to see it and come follow you. And so there's all these different strategies that don't have to be expensive, but they create authentic communication. And that is the secret, is just making sure you're not just, I would rather work with someone with 50,000 real people than 1 million people who are just paid to follow, you know? Anyway, I know we're running out of time. I wanted to make sure we left room for questions, and there's so much that we could keep talking about. But as you guys know, Karen's the smarter of the two of us. So Karen, I'll let you close.
Yeah, I'm not the smartest. But yeah, there's one question, Craig. Paul Smith said, could you tell us a little bit more about Web3? What Web3 is? That is a
Sure.
whole new masterclass. So let's try to make it like it's.
How much time do we have yet? Look,
Yeah.
It's really adjusting your rails and adjusting your web to have more of a social presence, allowing you to accept crypto as a payment. It allows you to play more in the metaverse and engage with metaverse companies that are out there, NFT companies. Web3 is kind of accelerating what you're already doing. If you go to, if you follow View It on Instagram, Cuba Gooding has put a ton of video up there talking about what Web3 is. Web3 is where you own your own data and you stop relying. We've got a process where we can bring all of your Instagram followers over to View It, and we can actually convert 1% of them to paying you $3 to $4 a month to follow your exclusive content. We do it with celebrities, we do it with athletes, we do it with all kinds of people, and we turn their existing follower base into their own customer list, right? Where you can set up a mailing system where you can engage with your fans, segment your fans into what their likes are. I'm going back a ways, but you know, when Charlie Sheen got fired from 2.5 Men, he developed a Twitter following of millions and millions and millions of people. He's a genius, as crazy as he was. He then started talking about, if you want to know about my favorite cigars, how to stay fit over the age of 40, my favorite drink. He started getting all these brand partners, and he segmented his audience into people who are interested in fitness, people who are interested in cigars, people who are interested in whiskey, tequila. He might have segmented his Twitter audience into 20 different demographics, and then all of them started buying products that Charlie was involved in. It was pure genius, you know, the way that he did it. And that's today what we try to do with data. We try to look at how your existing database is and who they are, and then what do we want to, how do they want to be sold? Not how do you want to sell them, but how do your customers want to be approached and spoken to? Anyway,
yeah, and I want to share, if you want to learn a little bit more, there, our good friend Chris Duffy launched a book. It's called Decoding the Metaverse. So it's it's one of the two books that are out there from someone that really has been doing and making and creating this new realities. He's the one that created like Google Lens and a lot of different products out there that are always like trying to explore, right, new horizons. And he launched this book that it's pretty much like I will call it Web3 and Metaverse for Dummies because it's very well explained. So if you want to learn more, that's a book that I will recommend you to go for.
And who is Chris Duffy? Just so they know why they might want to pick that up.
He's we help him with the launch. He sits in the board of directors of Adobe. Yeah. And he Adobe along with Google, they actually launched the number one competitor now with Google against ChatGPT, which it's Bard, I think it's called. I always say Bard, but I don't know if it's Bread or something like that. Any other questions? I see. Okay, wonderful explanation, Paul says.
Yeah, no, that was great, guys. That was fantastic. So many great tips. You both are a fountain of knowledge. We were talking about how we got to adapt to the new times and how things are changing so quickly from a technology point of view. Kind of when you think you've got one kind of social media a little bit under control, which you don't, all of a sudden there's a new one and there's another one and there's another one. So it's so much. I mean, someone was sharing that they would prefer to have someone obviously that does it all for them because, kind of it just takes so much time. What's your thoughts? How are you helping? I mean, I know you helped us with the Expo. You did a great job for us. So how are you helping like individual clients or businesses, or how can people connect with you in case, they wanted to get some advice from you, Karen?
Sure. Actually, for everybody here and everybody that is joining the Best You Expo Summit, we have a social media audit, right, for them. So they just have to go to socialclose.com/audit. They have to fill out the information, and we're going to send them a free audit with all the good practices for social media. Like they're going to get a scorecard that is going to be done exclusively for them to not, we're going to go and look at every single one of their social media. We're going to give them all the information, right, they need in order for them to either do it themselves, hire someone else, or hire us. It's okay. The only thing that we want is that they improve their social media and they learn more about it so they can scale, grow, engage, and sell more.
I'm just double checking. Is that it?
Yes, socialclose.com/audit. And of course, every person is different. Like I said, like every social media. So the way that we help is first we look at we meet every person at where they're at on their marketing journey. As you know, Social Close, it's a 360 digital marketing company. So we can look, if you think about, we can see the high level, the high scope of the brand, and we can see what are the different pieces that are. If you look at the brand as a puzzle, social media is just one piece of the puzzle. Sometimes the problem is not even the content. The problem is their links. They're broken. They don't work. They don't send to anywhere. Yeah.
Your website, your funnel, your search media. There's so many things that have nothing to do with what your social media is doing. You got to check it all.
Yep.
Brilliant. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your generosity and your wisdom. Both extremely knowledgeable. And listen, I definitely prefer to have a company like you taking care of all of it, because it's just so different, many moving parts and so many things to take into account. So I really understand, but obviously there's a lot.
By the way, I like Bernardo so much that I'm going to go out and buy a pair of black glasses, and I think that with the glasses, I could complete the look where people would say, "Are you guys brothers?" And I mean, I like him so much that I want to look like him. So you see the black shirt. We're almost twinsies today.
We're almost twinsies today. Yeah. Listen, I just wear the glasses because, first of all, I can't see much, but it makes me look a little bit more intelligent than I am. So anyway,
It's
guys,
a lot more
listen,
than glasses for me to look intelligent. I've got a face for radio, I guess. So I don't know.
no, you're both great. Karen, Craig, thank you so much for being here. Social Close again, once again, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Yeah,
everybody.
and I didn't talk about songwriting at all. So, Karen was like, "You're going to spend 45 minutes talking about songwriting." I'm like,
Well,
no.
listen, we're going to be doing another summit in a couple of months' time, so we'll invite you to talk about songwriting. That'll be amazing. And listen, we're going to be talking anyway, Craig, about the expo. We want music there, so you're going to be the man in charge.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching here, day 2 of the Best You Expo Global Summit. I hope you enjoyed it. I think, we've given again so many valuable tips, all free. You just literally, hopefully, just wrote them down. But obviously, there's opportunities there for you to take action, either, to get involved with Bill, to get involved with Social Close, if you're interested in speaking with us at the Best You Expo. I want to thank you all so much for being here today. Please, please, please make sure you join us tomorrow. And if for whatever reason you're watching this as a recording, hey, take action. I hope you watch the whole recording and you're taking action and you're going to be connecting with a lot of these great people. Tomorrow we're back. Tomorrow's day 3. It's the final day of the Best You Expo Global Summit. And as I said, tomorrow I've got at 2 p.m. Jessica Avo from Unknown to Newsworthy, How to Get Press and Master the Media. She's brilliant, Jessica. You're going to really love her. She is just so great. David Snyder as well, NLP Master, the ultimate sales formula, how to sell anything to anyone, anytime, anywhere. And this is NLP, ladies and gentlemen, neuro-linguistic programming. Very powerful tool. And then Jen Duplessis, entrepreneurial leadership, letting go to grow. So Bernardo Moya here, your host, founder of The Best You. Thank you so much once again. Lots of love. And may the best be with you. Take care. See you tomorrow. Lots of love.